Greetings and salutations. My name's Artorius, and I am joined by the man, the myth, the badger, Kyle. How are you doing tonight?
Jesus. I'm doing fantastic, Artorius. Was hoping for a little bit more at that intro, but I digress. Greetings and salutations, of course, but we are here for Mo Filski More Problems, taking on Down to Clown. Neither team is tagged up properly. Vico is not here right now. He's driving, and the teams have elected to do the draft now, and we're going to remake an all pick after the game. So that'll be a fun time. And in the dire side, the team I gotta correct myself. The team that I casted with Andy and Jim last night, Down to Clown, currently tagged up as Malefic's Hot Bitches. Meanwhile, on the Radiant side, it is Mo Filski, Mo Problems, currently tagged up as Ratman Haters. Only bans so far, so we're still very early into the draft. But again, Down the Clown, they've looked very good so far this season. They're 3-1. Arguably, probably should be 4-0, but 3-1 is still pretty good. Mofilski Mo Problems off to a relatively tepid 1-1 start, but a good 2-0 tonight would certainly put them back on track. So should be a fun series between two of the better contenders in Group Mickey. So far, bans Lena Furion, Tree, Doombringer, first phase, 5-pick Ricky, 6-7 Tiny Undying, the response by PMA.
I am so done with this meta. Oh wow, a Snapfire, who would have thought?
Oh
Um,
wow.
so obviously Lena NP bans, Tree Doom bans, both meta heroes. Doom less meta, but Filski on Doom is a little bit scary, from what we've seen this season.
Mhm.
Um, Then they pick up the Tiny End Undying. I'm pretty sure CB is a known Undying player.
He is.
Um, and I'm assuming. Wait, no, CB is the Tiny player. Sorry, my bad. It's Noah playing the Undying. And then on the flip side,
No, I think it's yeah. I think it's AC playing the Undying and Nova playing the Tiny, but I could be wrong. I'd been wrong before, but
I am now confused. I forget. Is Nova the 4 or is CB the 4?
Nova is the 4, unless they switched
Because
again this season. But
CB swapped from 5 to 4 a few times, right?
yeah, he's back to 5 again. CB has played 4 on a
Okay.
number of these PMA teams, but this team he has played. What should I say? Last season he played 5, and I don't see why he wouldn't be playing 5 again this season.
Okay. Yeah. So that was correct the first time. Then on the flip side, I'm assuming this will be a 5 Snapfire for Ricky, although it could be the other way around. I don't see you wanting to lane. Well, I guess you could lane the Snapfire into the Undying, but I feel like you want to just drag waves, so you're going to get this Ricky to buy boots. That is, if this Snapfire is a support and not a core.
See, so actually, I'm interested in seeing personnel wise going to the bigger picture. I'm actually interested to see how Filski plays in this team. Because yeah, Filski is one of the highest rated offlaners in lads. I personally had him rated as the third best offlaner last season. The problem is he's replacing one of the two offlaners I had rated above him. So again, it's gonna be interesting seeing the fit difference from a like a strength hero stunner offlaner to guy who plays green heroes pretty well. So see, I'm interested in seeing how they look a little bit different with the new personnel. But again, Vico is driving. They're waiting on their ban right now. You know, it's but Vico's driving. They're waiting on their ban, and eventually we'll get into that 15 pick. I'm actually interested in seeing the 15 pick because we're assuming Tiny and Dying are sups, but it means that they'll have to keep the Tiny a flex later into the draft more than likely to keep it as a ambiguous thing.
Yeah, I feel like most of the time, you do not want to draft both supports in the first phase. However, the way both teams did it, it is, like you said, ambiguous. I can't say the word. Fuck it. I'm just not gonna say it.
Ambiguous.
Ambiguous. Um, because the Snapfire can be core. Ricky can be core, but I haven't seen anybody really do that other than DKMP a couple times. Tiny can be core, but again, you don't see that as often either, as compared to the Snapfire. But either way, it you can't 100% put these on supports. So
To be fair, we literally saw Tiny Core last night. Literally last night. We're probably gonna see it
Yeah.
again, actually.
Yeah, we saw it the night, was it 2 nights ago or 3 nights ago when we casted and there was a core tiny then?
That would be multiple. Maybe this lads players are still enthusiasts of the Core Tiny, and I don't blame them. It's a hero that went ahead. Hey, Mr. One's playing the Core Tiny, and then last night Sev was playing the Core Tiny as well. So again, there's a lot of Core Tinies out there nowadays, and it seems like we're going that again, unless it's a 3 Undying speed style offline
Or
Undying.
it's a mid hoodwink. I know Breezy plays that. And I
Breezy
think
R is
DKMP plays that as well, right?
Breezy R plays on a separate paradigm from normal human beings. You can't discuss them in the conversation in that sense. It's going to be
Fair.
another.
I guess DKMP also does shit like that too, so.
It's going to be another 6-dog offlane Snapfire with the good to see you Morana being selected. So likely 4 Ricky, 3 Snap, 5 Morana. Unless we end up seeing like a really weird thing, but it's probably 3 Snap, 5 Morana, 4 Ricky.
I would assume that. The only problem I have with that is you have nobody to be your frontliner. Like, sure, Ricky's going to stand in front, but he's not going to tank anything.
You grab Sev back here. Yeah, you get Seven the hero that stands in front and takes damage, and then unlike last night's Ember game, you hope it's a hero that actually can tank the damage. There we go. That's a hero that can tank damage. That's Tusk.
Yeah. Assuming that is a mid Tusk, it might be a mid Snapfire offlane Tusk. We saw, I think it was Zai played the offlane Tusk for Liquid recently. He went with the Wraith Band into Falcon Blade, so he had a little bit of health on him and armor.
And 6-dog is a noted Tusk offlane player as well, but
yeah, we see the Drow, which is a meta pick, but I'm kind of surprised. Being with the Snapfire Ags, the Ricky Sleeping Dart, the Tusk Snowball, and probably Blink Dagger and Kick. On top of that, even just Moonlight Shadow, they have a lot of ways to get on top of this Drow. I guess the idea is they only really have one frontliner, so there's nobody who really does want to stand beside this Drow except for this Tusk. Albeit if it's a support Tusk, he probably doesn't want to stand beside anybody really either. But at least not somebody he's going to lose a fight to.
I had to go to the little Twitch prediction thing just for shits and giggles. But again, I like Drow Ranger. I think it's a very good Drow game, but it's not a good enough Drow game. But Drow's a good enough hero that I don't think it's going to matter. As long as I can get a good hero for Vico to take over the game with, I think it's fine. And if it ends up being Tiny, then I think that's fine. But there's a very good chance it'll end up being like Undying 3 Tiny Sup, and they'll end up having the last hero be that counter pick for mid.
See, the tiny mid could be really good here though, because you don't really have that many tanky heroes that are okay with eating an avalanche toss combo.
Mm-hmm.
Like if Ricky does it, he dies. If Miranda does it, she's probably dying as well. If Snapfire does it, she's probably also dying, and if she doesn't die, she's soon to die afterwards. And while Tusk is kind of okay with eating that, if that's the only hero you're worried about being able to tank the tiny damage, then you're looking pretty good on tiny. The one thing I do like about the Radiance draft, however, is they've pretty much banned out most cores that Drow does not want to fucking play against, at least carry-wise. Like, you don't really want to be against this Lina. She outranges you. Nature's Prophet can out-farm you and kill you. Morphling, sure, you have a bunch of base agility, and there is a silence, so I guess Drow's a little bit better against the Morphling than some of these other heroes. But again, Naga, Primal Beast, Spectre all just get on top of this Drow, and Drow doesn't want that. So they've banned it out so far. Heroes that they don't want to go up against, ending with a PL. But on the flip side, I was just about to call them Malefic's hot bitches, but that's just what they're drafting under right now. They ban out the Viper and they ban out the Razor, two of these kind of sort of frontline heroes that are going to pretty much be in front and cause chaos for the Drow Ranger. Also would be good against Troll Warlord, so obviously they were thinking about that one for a little bit during the draft, because they didn't use very much time in order to pick it.
I see troll in my game. I say Mo Filski, Mo problems. They have one less problem. That's the opposing carry. They're gonna win this one. They got 99 problems, but Troll Warlord is not one of them.
I don't know. I've always had a special place in my heart for Troll Warlord. He's one of the few carries I actually play.
Isn't that a
And
disqualifying thing for Troll though?
uh, I mean, I've seen Troll Warlord just permabash shit and just win games he shouldn't. So
It's not a bash anymore. It's got a root now. So
I
yeah,
know, but
he'll perma root shit, bro.
when he had a root, I was able to beat Logical Mid. Sure, it was RD2L. Like, I didn't beat him in the mid lane, but I beat him in the game. And it was just because of stupid RNG that Troll Warlord has. And then the moment he roots you once, if he roots you again, you're fucked.
My boy Logic wants to play better. Gotta play
I mean,
better than
that
that.
was a long time ago.
My boy Logic wants to play better than that. I don't care if it was a long time ago.
That, and I remember there was a practice lobby PMA and I went into because he was saying that Slark hard counters troll. I'm like, I don't think so. So we both bought like just 8 slotted our heroes and just went and fought each other. And sure, the Slark won the majority of the time. I think he won like 60 or 70% of the time, but the other times Troll Warlord just permabash the Slark. It was just like, see, the hero can do shit. However, that's a bit scary.
I'm getting a screenshot on this just in case. Yeah, it is time to abandon. I'm remaking.
Yeah. I don't know how I feel about that Necrophos pick. It scares me for both teams.
I mean, it's a green hero. It's a Filski hero. I'm sure it's fine.
But you can get run down in lane by a troll, especially if you have a Snapfire backup or a Mirana backup rather than a Ricky. Um, if there's a Ricky, I don't feel nearly as bad for this Necrophos anymore. But in the game, like, you're such a slow moving hero. Snapfire can drop like all of her globs on you if you don't have like a 4 staff. She's gonna hit every single one. Um, then you also have the problem of you have a Mirana. It's gonna be hard to dodge arrows. There's a Ricky with Smoke Cloud and Sleeping Dart. So you definitely need a 4 staff at some point during this game. And then there's a Troll Warlord who can root you. I guess the only saving grace, and if you get kicked, then I don't know if you're fucked because you're Necrophos and you're very tanky, but you're not getting back to where you were originally. That's for certain. You're too fucking slow. I guess the only thing I would have liked to see with this is a little bit more lockdown, so that Drow has free range to hit people. But they might be going for more of a counter initiation sort of deal with just the Necrophos standing in front.
All right, I have put in the lobby chat and in Twitch chat what the players are playing, so nobody pulls a fast one. Or nobody's pulling a fast one on me. Not on my lobby. No siree. No siree. Not on my lobby. Nobody's pulling no fast one on old Badger. But we are
The key word there was old.
Screw you too. But we are now into the all pick segment of our game one draft because we have done our draft without our draft players. So yay. All right, we now have to figure out who is playing what.
So
And
it is
yeah.
a 4 Ricky, and it's actually an offlane Mirana.
This is not an alpha. This is a
Oh,
5-star
sorry.
Mirana.
Sorry, when it zoomed out, the names lined up. So, okay. It's a 5 Mirana. Alright.
Yeah, it's as we expected. Again, at this point, this is all expected stuff. So
Yeah, so the mid-tiny.
certainly be a little bit interesting seeing how our mid game goes. I don't think our laning phase is going to be too interesting, but after we get post lanes, you get Snapfire in the team fights, Blink Tiny in the team fights, Blink Tusk in the team fights. That's when things start getting a little bit interesting here.
I feel like
Finishing loading. There it is.
I feel like the mid lane won't be interesting. It's the Tusk Tiny. Neither one should die. If they do, somebody made a mistake. The Drow Hoodwink lane. The Drow Undying lane against the Snapfire Ricky. Nobody should die. It should just be a bunch of lane pulling, would be my assumption. Which is a little bit harder to do on the Dire, but not impossible. Then on the flip side, you have a Necrophos Hoodwink versus Troll Mirana. That one could see some action, depending on how each side wants to play it.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. And once we get into the unpause, I'll of course do my intro shtick, but the intro shtick can wait until after we.
Am I allowed to predict, or is that not allowed? Since I know the script for this season.
Go for it. You can predict. I don't really care.
No, I'm not predicting. See, this is probably the one of the best games I could have cast. Strictly because I'm biased whether I like it or not when it comes to casting, and I like people on both teams, so I shouldn't be as biased tonight.
Wait, you like people on both sides? It's a miracle.
I know, it's crazy. I only like 3 people in the league, and you're not one of them.
Well aware. I'm assuming it's it's PMA. It's PMA and Sev. I'm assuming.
PMA and Sev. I think Jorok and I have chirped each other in the past, but we relatively got along when we played together, which hasn't been very often, I suppose. And then I've also played with CB in the PMA stacks. Other than that, I don't think I've really talked to anybody in this game. There's nobody I dislike, there's that.
Oh my lord. You're such a contentious person. So contentious. So toxic.
Fine. I've only called Jorg a sore loser in the past. It's
so it's okay. There was my other co-casters were flaming Jorg last night too. To be fair, they weren't flaming his play; they were flaming his conduct in the game because he was all chatting last night. And,
it's Jorg. What did you expect? See, he's already done it now.
But Jim expected more from Lads players for some ungodly reason. And when Jorg was all chatting,
when he played 3 seasons now.
Yeah, I know.
Shouldn't he know?
But it's one of those things where Jorg was all chatting from a position where it would be bad mannered to, particularly bad mannered to all chat. It wasn't like an even game he was all chatting in. He was all chatting after the game. It was more or less over. Which again, all chatting when you can lose is a lot less bad mannered than all chatting when you cannot lose. If you can't lose and you all chat, it's like, come on, bro, you're just gloating at that point. Oh, we're back. No more ranting. If you are just joining us, welcome to game number 1 of Down to Clown, taking on Mo Filski, Mo Problems. On the Radiant side, it's Mo Filski, Mo Problems, coming in at a 1-1 record. Thank you, by the way, Vico, for the good luck. Over on the Dire side, it's Down to Clown, coming in at a 3-1 record. Coming off their first loss of the season last night up against the XD Deers, with Wage and company taking game 2 of that 2-game series. My name is Badger. I'm joined by Season 4 champion Artorius, and I think we're going to be in for a fantastic game number 1. Not all chat continues. The all chat continues, but it's okay. The all chat's always fun. Well, correction. It's currently fun, I should say. It's not always fun, but it's currently fun.
Yeah. I think this is actually going to be a fun game. There's already a couple not extremely meta picks, so I'll be interested to see what they pick game 2. If they will resort back to only meta picks, or if they will go even more off the rails a little bit.
Top lane. They see Jaw, but does Jaw see them? Looking at Dire Vision, I don't think he's seen anybody yet. But they're leaving. They want the bounty runes instead. Perhaps think there'll be heroes here. There are not heroes here. It'll be free bounty runes. So it'll be 2 for 2 bounty runes apiece. The western side ones grabbed by Filski and company. The eastern side ones grabbed by Good to See You and company.
This is actually kind of interesting what Jaw's doing. He's cutting down all the trees with his quelling blade. And normally you only really see that against like treants. But against Hoodwink, she won't be able to bushwhack without Acorn Shot now. Or if she's specifically against some certain trees.
Yeah, this is going to be one of those lanes where we're going to see... I mean, Ja was one of the best carries of last season, one of the best individual players in the league, but it's going to be an individual test, because this is not a fun lane. You lane against Necro and Hoodwink, and you are not in for a fun time, particularly when it's a player like Filski playing the Necro, so...
Particularly when you only have 250 health left and no tangos.
And that's partially because you got gone on by Necro. Ja decided to man fight, and the man fight didn't go very well. Mirana has plenty of tangos to spare, but again, Necro was going to win these trades every single... Is he dead on Ja? Okay, lucky bounces. If it was a lucky bounce, I think it would have killed the troll there. But again, he's playing low on HP right now. He needs these last hits. He needs this money, but in going for these last hits, he might get himself killed.
Yeah, in the bot lane, we see Jorik going for the lane pull. He also snipes PMA's courier, so there will be no tangos on PMA for a little bit here. But with the lane pulling, he should be okay.
And CB does have tangos, but the problem is CB is not currently near PMA. He's all the way over there with Joe Rick.
However, CB did a pretty good job there. Either that or Jorik did a bad job. The creeps ended up underneath the tower, so none of them got denied. PMA is going to get full farm here.
So I'm interested in seeing how Sev does in the middle lane. Sev is our boy, but Vico is one of the true heavyweights in the middle lane this season. He was my pick for the best mid and lads last season. He's probably number 2 behind Rusi now. He's an extraordinarily good middle laner, and I'm very curious to see what he does against Sev tonight. Again, Sev, decent middle laner, but not for the highest LMR mid in the league currently, so... Again, Sev had some struggles last night up against Beasts, so we'll have to see what happens up against a player like Vico.
Well, he is up against a hero with 73 damage, which has 20 more damage if he has a tree on him, so it's going to be pretty rough last hitting. Up in the top lane, you can really see this Necrophos and Hoodwink starting to put in work.
Well, that's going to be first blood for sure. There it goes. It'll be to Filski. A lot of regen going on. Look at those regen stacks for Filski as well. Absolute huge kill for Filski over the top lane. And you mentioned it. You mentioned it.
Especially with, if you look at the last hit and denies there, that's not looking so hot when your Miranda has more last hits than you.
Filski 16-4, Ja 2 last hits. This is... And he has the least last hits on his team right now. I mean, this is, again...
Yeah.
Ja, a very individually skilled player, but again, apparently he's playing on a pretty crappy MacBook, and he's laning into Filski Necro, the most threatening Necro in the entire league, so it's never a fun time. And again, the dive continues top lane. Bushwhack hits on Ja into the death balls, and now Ja has no TP. It's on cooldown. And Mirana, good to see you, might just tie as well. Filski's running on in with the death balls. Meanwhile, bottom lane, Six Dog is poking on around, trying to run away from CB. Up to the top lane, the dive on, good to see you. The salve was used. Mirana's still leaping and running and juking and jiving. And I believe she'll be surviving, but still. Bit of a rough time there in the top lane for Mirana. Necro, Hoodwink. Yeah, especially this Hoodwink. Her bushwhacks with the, even with the lack of trees, still very threatening.
Yeah, she's managed to land them on all the trees that still remain, pretty much.
Or the bottom lane, CB has to use the magic stick, kill Tombstone and DK. Six Dog and Joe Brick are not going to win this man fight. They're trying to run from PMA. PMA wants to kill, but has multi-shot on cooldown, so no death quite yet. But again, PMA having a great time in lane. Vico having a relatively even middle lane, maybe a slight win middle lane. And then top lane, a dominant win for Filski. And again, Filski was the community-rated #1 offlaner in LAS last season. He was named the offlane position MVP, and so far he's certainly playing like it. How many times is PMX going to die this game? We're up to 2. Do you think he's going to die again this game? How many
Probably.
deaths are we in for the courier over the bottom lane? CB will die, but okay. If I put the line at 2.5 courier dead for PMA, you want the over or the under? You want the over, right?
Yeah, I think it's gonna die at least one more
Over
time.
to top lane. Bushwhack on Ja. The arrow was missed, but Ja will stick on up. So if I made the line 3.5, you go under then? You think it's gonna be exactly 3?
Yeah, I think it'll be 3.
Okay.
I don't think he'll die in the laning stage. I think he'll die at like a secret shop
Yeah.
one more time this game or something.
And yeah, we're gonna have to like keep mental track of the PMA courier status. Because again, PMA's courier is having a rough game. Like, PMA's having a good game. His courier, not a very good game. Already died twice.
I think he did get the items from it that time though, by the looks of it. So you did its job this time.
Man, I'm a little bit concerned because he's playing into Ricky and Marana, who are again Marana an above average career killer, Ricky among the very best in the entire game. So
I think Mars is actually the best.
I said among for a reason, but I digress. Speaking of Ricky, he's found Vico. The rune will spawn top, and it seems like it'll be secured by Nova. Sev wants to go and snowball forward, stunning Nova. Actually, a walk around the hoodwink. Bushwhack hits Nova, grabs a regen rune. It's not canceled quite yet. Sev and Joe Rick want to cancel it, and it will eventually be canceled. But again, that's some decent regen for the hoodwink, and no rune for either mid laner. I want you to turn your attention to the hero net worth chart. Necrophos way on top, 3,000 net worth. Troll, he's somewhat recovered at 2k, but he's still well behind the Radiant Cores. All 3 Radiant Cores more than 5 above the Troll right now.
Yeah, and I think one problem with this dire lane is you pick this Ricky, which is great at 15 minutes, but it doesn't do a lot in lane. Like Jorg's done the best he can, right? He's pulled some waves, he's sniped some couriers. But
Big gank top lane by Sev. Bushwhack misses by Nova, but Filski's still absolutely dead, actually, inside the ice shards. As a result, big kill. It goes to Marana. Unfortunate that the kill went there, but still. Big kill to get, nonetheless, important rotation by Sev.
And while this is happening, Jorg's getting free XP in the mid lane, so he should be he should have plenty of levels by the time he picks up his shard.
It's one of those things where Drow Undying is very good at winning a lane, but it's not like a necessarily massive kill threat in the 2v1. And again, you saw CB trying to run down 6-Dog, but you need Drow to commit heavily away from where the wave was. PMA had the wave in a good spot equilibrium-wise, but that means 6-Dog could just be, well, 6-Dog. Maybe this time in the trees he'll finally die. That's a lot of space given for being in that 1v2 Drow lane. Tombstone now committed. Cookie away. Multi-shot will slow. And 6-Dog, well, I think barely adds one more DK in 2 seconds. But no, there's no more DKs. He'll get away on the Snapfire. So again, PMA still winning that lane, but they're not able to punish the hoodwink for kills. Over to mid lane, Avalanche in the river on Seb. Bushwhack will hit on Tusk. Good to see you grabs the illusion rune on Moran. A snowball will stun on only Nova. Nova will get punched on down easily by Seb. Over to bottom lane, Ricky is getting run down by PMA and CB, but again, with the tower, they cannot finish the kill. Multi-shot will get tanked by the creeps, and as a result, maybe you'll see a kill bottom lane with Snapfire coming in. Ricky blinks forward. Scatterblast hits. Cookie's still available, but never mind. No more kills. No more action.
Problem in this bot lane is Drow pretty freely got her 6. So even if you do come down here to force her to the lane, she can farm jungle, she can farm top, she can do whatever. She's 6 now, so if they had any plans of hindering the Drow's game, it might be a little bit too late unless they can gank her in the triangle later on. And with your Troll Warlord not having a great start, it's looking a little bit rough.
There's a very good chance that PMA might just play the lane even longer. Or to bottom lane, snowball from Seth. Another rotation. Silence will bring Tusk back. Multi-shot Avalanche to follow up from rotation from Vico. So it's 6-Dog dead. Now 7 the run. CB still alive. CB, and he's still alive. That's a toss-up by Vico. So Undying remains Undying. The gank squad, other than Tusk, now dead. Big turn by Vico. And over to top lane, we're seeing... Look at where Jai is right now. Oh, no. This is a tragedy.
Like, surely just walking into the jungle and hitting creeps is better than standing here watching the tower die, right?
I think he's trying to run over here away from Necro. It's like, wait, I'm in the trees now. He had to clawing his way through, a path through the trees. Which, again, pretty heads-up play from Ja, but still a very tragic scenario for the Troll Warlord.
Yeah. And referring back down to that bottom fight, the only reason why Undying lives there and that fight gets turned is he has raindrops and he had a 10 stick and he just popped it and got down Tombstone, and the moment that happened, fight was over. There was nothing Dyer could do anymore.
In best case scenarios, they can still get a kill on Undying and then trade maybe evenly, but they didn't even get that even trade or even an unfavorable trade. They got no trade. They just lost.
Yeah. And I don't even think it cost any TPs.
Cost 1 TP on Tiny.
Oh, 1 TP on Tiny.
That's, I mean,
but
a
Tiny's fine
TP
with
scroll
making that.
for 2 hero kills? That's fine. That's a fine trade.
And Tiny doesn't even mind making those TPs because he wants to be involved in kills as often as possible. That's his job in this draft.
Man, if you're playing mid, the ideal place for a fight to happen is under your safe laner's T1 tower. It's a very easy spot to TP into it the way the trees are oriented, so...
Yeah, and he almost has his Blink Dagger now, so it's looking very scary for these squishy heroes on the Dagger.
And if we're looking at Blink stats on the other side, Seth's not even going Blink first. He's opting for the Deso first, saying, you know what, we need right-click damage right here, right now. Which, again, a defendable decision, but it will mean the ability to jump will be lacking. There's going to be no Blink on Snapfire, though there is a Shard very soon at minute 15. And again, Troll not ready to fight. Marana, I mean, again, your best opportunity for the kills is to, you know, throw out Ice Shards, throw out arrows, hope something hits again when you have a Shard on Ricky as well. But for now, it's fight bottom lane. Filski is in the Vanguard, his team backing him up. The Dire runaway DK hits on 2. Moonlight Shadow will be used to run with Invis. CB has Dust, but not quite in time. I think he had it in his backpack at the onside of the fight, so... Nobody's dead. Actually, PMA's been caught. He's been caught. He's overstayed his welcome in his jungle. The arrow will hit, and PMA will get brought on down. Again, bold decision to farm there, knowing the Dire were just in your jungle, and PMA has been punished heavily. Nova has a 2-man bushwhack, has sharpshooter. 6-dog is dropping. Sev will stomp the snowball. Silence will prevent that sharpshooter from Nova for the time being. And now the team arriving, it's Vico blinking forward onto Joe Rick. Joe Rick gets demolished. Sharpshooter will actually hit on Seb, but Seb's still half HP, walking away nice and briskly. Overall, though, you trade that Drow for Ricky. Very good there for down the clown. And they turned what was a disastrous situation into a very good gank.
Yeah, it was also a huge kill for this Tusk as it gets him closer to that Deso. And once he has that Deso, he's going to be like the Tiny, who currently has a Blink already, so he's already there.
Yeah, into... Speaking of Blink Tiny, jump in on 6-dog, into the Scythe from Filski, get him that first stack of permanent regen, and... Again, it's one of those games where Drow... Once Drow has like 2.5 more items, it's going to be a very easy game, but getting that fight might be difficult. Speaking of difficult, mid lane, they're going in on Undying once again, Undying, very tanky, has the tombstone before he dies, but again, Nova might just die here as well. Joe Rick dives, Sev is nearby, but in comes Vico to save his hoodwink. So far, 1-for-1 trade, and the tombstone remains alive. Marana wants the kill on the tombstone, but cannot find it. Bushwhack gets dodged by Good to See You. Sev is forced to run away, but in comes Vico again, has Blink in 2 seconds. He might die the tower right now.
Oh, the arrow
And there
landed.
he goes! Avalanche toss, punishing! Sev saw the arrow, wanted to kill Nova, and Vico baited incredibly well.
That is highly unfortunate when your arrow actually baits your teammate. Yeah, this early Blink is just pushing this lead farther, faster. Tusk, in theory, wants to do the same thing with this Desolator, but Tiny just has so much burst damage from levels and a 2,000 gold item, and this Tiny needs a 3,000 gold item to do this, and this Tusk needs a 3,000 gold item to do the same thing.
And we're, again, if you're down to Clown, it's definitely their worst looking game so far. This is definitely a game where they have lost all of the lanes. And again, it's never ideal with a team of this caliber to lose every single lane, but there is still room to recover if they can get the ball rolling, no pun intended. Problem is, they need, yeah, you mentioned 3,000 gold for Tusk. That's the finished Desolator and the Blink Dagger afterwards. And again, once you have like an item on top of the Shard for Snapfire, maybe at that point you're good to start making some big fights, but...
Yeah, the Shard on Ricky and the Shard on Snapfire, if they don't start finding kills at 15 minutes here in 16 and 17, then it's going to be looking a little bit grim, because those are your 2 big power spikes. You know, Snapfire It's a lot of extra damage with that Fire Snap Cookie. That's also going to be a lot of your follow-up to any initiation that starts. And then on top of that, your Ricky Shard, that's the whole hero. Unfortunately, this Ricky does not have his shard yet. He bought Arcane Boots and then died a couple of times, so he's still 300 gold off.
Luckily, it will be very soon. Again, that double shard timing is where things will get very powerful. I think Six Dog is on the Courier right now. Yeah, Six Dog shard is on Courier. We'll have a B Fury relatively soon for just correction. B Fury was just finished for Ja. Over to bottom lane, it's a snowball on Filski. Filski is a mech though. This will be an easy turn to bring down Sev. Scythe in. Sev will die as now 2 stacks of permanent regen for the Necrophos, and now Six Dog has been dusted. And he actually will get away. The blink is on cooldown for 4 more seconds, and seems like Biko will not complete that dive. At least not quite yet. He's going for a bit of a wrap angle now. Still wants to go for the dive on Snapfire. Snapfire's overstayed his welcome. Avalanche. Toss on up. Acorn shot. DK. That's a lot of damage. That's a lot of kill. A 5th kill of the game now for Vico, and he is most certainly smiling right now.
That was, it felt like Dire just got a little bit impatient there. They went without the Snapfire shard, and they jumped on the Necrophos, and he was able to get that Ghost Shroud off before the Snowball landed the stun.
Over to mid lane, it's Sev caught again. He wanted to apply pressure, but he's overstayed his welcome. The mid T1 will get denied by PMA, so it is technically dead, but again, you've lost another core. You are hemorrhaging gold right now. It's not a great economic state right now for the side of Down to Clown. And in comes Filski once again, just diving in Six Dog. Six Dog is slowed, though. Vico is not quite in range of Blink Initiation. On the backlines, Jorvik has sniped the Courier of CB, but it might cost him his life. He'll blink over towards Filski. The detection is actually lacking, so Jorvik will get away. His mid T1 tower is still under attack. Arrows there on Filski. Filski has Greaves once he's unstunned. He's still half HP, now has the Greaves, so heal on up. Good to see you gets demolished by Filski and Vico, and now it will be Jorvik again. Running away, there's still a lack of detection, therefore the Ricky will survive. But again, you lose the support, you lose the tower, you get nothing in exchange. That's the power of Necro. This is so hard to jump on him right now.
Well, he has infused raindrops, he has a hood, he has a wand, he has greaves, he has double bracer, he has 2 Reaper Scythe stacks, which doesn't seem like a lot, but in the early game when that gets amplified by Ghost Shroud, it's not fun to deal with.
Again, that was almost like the ideal sort of initiation where you get him before the hood active and the Greaves under a tower. And you still, I mean, you got not maybe like 1/3 of his HP. It wasn't that close. At that point, Greaves up, Wand up, Ghost Shroud, Death Pulse. He's full HP. He'd kill you.
The other problem was he had just killed the entire creep wave. He had like 5 Heartstopper regen stacks. It's a lot of health he's getting back per second, so either you blow him up instantly or you don't touch him at all.
You know, it's funny, I was lamenting the slow start to the season for Mo Filski, Mo Problems. Again, 1-1, not a bad start. Said, you know what? This is probably a team that expected to start 2-0, and well, they're looking real good right now. If they're 3-1 going out of this series, then they're suddenly probably the favorite in this group again. I mean, I think it's a relatively close group at the top, and if you take down one of the other group contenders 2-0 like this, then your team's looking real good. But Down to Clown, they're not down to give up in Fountain. They're down for a gank. Moonlight Shadow plus a smoke combination. They've looked towards the river. They've instead pivoted to mid. But mid, there are no Radiant heroes. Instead of the Radiant Observer Ward, now D Ward. So sure, you get the D Ward, but you have not found kills. You know what we need, Artorius? We need like we need a dumbass Badger pun counter series. I think I'm up to like 15 already, but again, between like rap references to in lads references and plays on words, it's been a lot of stupid puns this series.
Yeah. Dire know about this Roche, and if they want to fight, this is probably the one place they can. The problem is, it looks like Ja has no intention of joining.
His kisses on the way. Filski fully heals himself, and Jorvik gets 100-0 in seconds. Flat. Morano will be forced to leap on away, but at this point, that's 2 leaps down. You no longer can really re-engage that easily. Dire have vision Fly of the Obs Award. But at this point, Roshan's down to half HP, and it's still a 5v4 scenario, and you're missing your number one damage tool in the Mortimer's Kisses. Blink, Avalanche, toss there on Sev. Sev gets silenced, and he will get killed with the Sharpshooter into the scythe. Filski ensuring not only he snipes the kill, but also gets that regen stack. So again, he'll maintain his number one net worth hegemony, and Roshan will be nice and easy for Mo Filski, Mo Problems.
Yeah, I think this is just a problem with their draft. Is there's this mid tiny that can blow up your Ricky, and the person you want to start a fight is Ricky. So if there's a sentry ward anywhere, you're screwed. You can't start a fight. This tiny will just blow up your Ricky, and he has a fluffy hat, he has a wand, he has infused raindrops, he has everything he can possibly buy right now to tank up, and it just doesn't matter. He just dies to the tiny.
And the concern becomes what happens when a gem is purchased. Sev has vision, goes in on CB. They want the easy kill, but Filski has the heal. CB will die under that Ricky cloud, but now it's Ricky who might just join him in the grave. Ricky is low, so is Sev. Both will die. Vico secured the kill at the last moment. It's currently 2 kills for the Mo Filski Mo Problems. They want a third. Vico wants to die, but instead may turn to that T2 tower. So again, and again, the other fight where Down the Clown had Ricky providing vision. He was not under a sentry, so they engaged purposely into that angle, but it did not work. It did not work at all.
Yeah, they just I don't know. They can't kill this Necrophos, and he's gonna be standing on front. And Tiny's not gonna join until he sees somebody he can blows up. So the moment anybody who he can blow up shows up, they're gonna die, and normally that's the Ricky.
Well,
and sure, you kill us undying, but he's fucking broke. Who cares?
listen, it's funny that I believe it was Karan that had a comment in Twitch chat of the Dire net worth looking a lot like OpenAI, and at the time it was like 1, 2, 3 net worth, and then 9, 10 net worth for Radiance. 3 cores on top, 2 stops on bottom, which means Dire had all the way at 4 through 8s. And if you don't know, OpenAI loves to evenly distribute their net worth on heroes between all 5 heroes, which is definitely an OpenAI looking net worth, but wait a minute. It's an OpenAI looking stun combo. Sleeping Dart into long range arrow. PMA has 2 lives and may lose 1 right away. 1. See, they still haven't killed him yet. They'll finally no silence. It will delay. It's time to run. The Tomb's on the high ground. This could be an absolute disaster if Radiant can arrive. PMA returns. CB is slept. Nova and PMA want to run in, but they're zoned away by the ice shards of Sev. So again, they cannot pursue. The fight is over, which means again, you get the Aegis. You lose nothing. That's very good for Down the Clown.
Yeah, that was the best case scenario. The Necrophos and the Tiny at
But he tossed it Jorik! 6. Sorry, you were saying.
Well, they had the Tiny and the Necrophos TP in bottom. There was nothing. Like, the guy who sits on the front line wasn't there, and the guy who follows up the front line wasn't there. So that was their best opportunity, but the only thing it does is get an Aegis out of it. Like, sure, it's great for the Dire, but if that's the best that can happen, it kind of still feels a little bit bad morale-wise.
I mean, you take what they can give you. So you know what? All you gotta do is do it one more time. As this action mid happens, Ja actually killed the bottom T2 tower. Now we cut the middle wave. So this push will end soon. The glyph from Radiance will counter the glyph from Dire, so the tower can still be sieged. Joe Rick gets tossed in all the way to the back lines, but in comes Vico on the Dire side backlines looking for Sev. Sev will snowball towards Vico, now walking away. And again, good stuns there to ensure nobody dies on the Dire side. This tower's still alive. Filski wants to go with the Reaper's Scythe, but now the Dire have backdoor protection. Vico might go for the slap there with that Echo Saber, but instead wants some heroes. Goes in on Six Dog. Six Dog is saved by the arrow sleeping dart combination. Vico gets healed by Filski. Filski, Tumbler Toys in. And Sev is forced to run away. So again, Radiance got a lot of tower damage, but could not complete the tower kill. And just like that, look at our economy. Look who's number 1 net worth. It's John.
Yeah, the fact that it took so long to take that tower and it's still not dead. Like, you have just the Dire just poking and poking and poking at you, and sure, you can live through it. You have a Death Pulse and Guardian Greaves and Pipe Necrophos, but...
Oh, Joe Rick, the ninja! Oh man, he is bothering Vico so much, preventing Vico from blinking. R.I.P. Courier, but again, it's preventing Vico from
Literally
blinking.
exploded.
He really wanted
Yeah,
to go on Joe Rick over here. Just couldn't get the detection on him again.
yeah, you have this problem now where it looks like the Radiant's just getting frustrated. You know, the Troll Warlord's taking objectives, he's cutting your waves, he's now the highest net worth in the game, and the Dire is just throwing shit at you, and they literally have a Ricky in the middle of their team, and they can't catch him. Like, it's probably starting to piss him off a little bit, and it looks like that's Dire's way back into the game. Just keep poking, keep prodding, keep pissing them off, and eventually your Trolls just hopefully farmed enough.
I mean, at this point, what you need, I think, if you're Vico, or sorry, if you are Mo Filski Mo Problems, is a gem. You give it to
Yeah, for sure.
probably your Necro, if not Necro, then Tiny, and you have them carry. Because it's clear that you need Dire to not have vision and not have Ricky ruining your game. And right now, Ricky is just ruining their game. Again, we're seeing some big items purchased, but not a gem. Perhaps that'll be CB who buys it. He conveniently has 900 gold, but there is no gem purchase right now. So there's a four-man smoke from Mo Filski Mo Problems. Looking at
And it's
Radiant
gonna
Vision, they
break on
see
Ricky.
Ja. Oh, it's not broken yet. We're back to chilling again. A lack of detection right now.
They have 5 sentries in stock, so either they need to buy this gem or they need to buy out all the sentries and just place them wherever they want to be.
I'm on Courier. Oh, I thought for a second we're gonna see another Courier die. Look at CB Micro just in case. Is that PMA's Courier? No, it's Tiny's Courier. It's dead. It's a bad day to be a Courier, man. It really is.
Yeah, that was his Echo Saber too, I think. I think he was rebuying it after
yeah.
he bought his BKB.
Yeah, he had Echo disassembled for BKB and then was rebuying Echo. And again, he'll get it eventually, but for now, seems like our push is dead. Mortimer's Kisses will actually not kill the entire wave. So Radiant can continue their push. Vico will not be using Echo Saber, but I'm not sure it'll matter because T3. Oh, Vico goes in, looking for a good kill on Sev. Sev is half HP Scythe, but no, the heal keeps Sev alive. Good defensive counterplay from down to Clown, but the T3 tower cannot be saved as such. It is dead. And again, in comes Vico again on Sev, but they still can't kill him. Tusk alive. Rax will be the target. Range Rax low. Jorik is broken. He'll tricks to the trade and he'll barely get away. So it's Range Rax so far for PMA. Meanwhile, mid lane, look at Ja! He's on the melee racks as well! He wants to trade racks! He's hitting the melee racks! He's going to get them! But Vico is back, looking for a jump. Meanwhile, in the Dire base, they go in on Filski. Filski is forced around, going on Zigzag. Back to Vico. He jumps in on Ja! Ja grabs the melee barracks. He'll BKB. He'll use the ulti. Turning on Vico. Over to Filski. He's still fighting. Slept by Sleep Dart. Back to Tiny. He's dead in the Radiant base. Back to the Dire base. They're hunting Filski. Filski is forced to run away. Dire pursue is 4. Shards will not catch Filski. Filski is sleeping dart by Jorik, however, and now with Guardian Greaves on cooldown, he may finally be in danger. He's silenced. He's stunned. He's punched on up. Bushback on 3 is fantastic, but it might not be enough. He's still dead on Necro. What fantastic maneuvering across the map by Down the Clown. A beautiful chain of engagement. You only lose the range racks, you save the melee racks, you get key core kills, and you take the Radiant barracks. This fantastic play there. Split play from Ja. Good base defense. It's fantastic stuff there.
You either need to fully commit on those racks top or you need to all back there, I think. You get split like that. You have 2 cores TP to kill this troll, but he has BKB. You're not going to kill him. You don't have a way to cancel his BKB TP. And he ends up just manning up on you.
And we're not done. The train continues to run. 2 forced asks gets Nova away from 7, Joe Rick. But Joe Rick wants more. He smells blood in the water. He's a shark. And there we go. Marana's tossed it onto Undying. It's got the live temporarily. The Mortis Kits will finish the job. Now the silence on Marana. Sharpshooter will hit. Marana is dropping. Force will keep her alive even longer. And now it's Sev punching up Vico. Vico's low on 80. The Filski has returned to the team fight. Has that Reaper fight. But again, there's no detection. They cannot lock down the Ricky. They will not get one more permanent stack for Filski. He's been stuck at 3 for the last while now. It's just... It's a crumbling game state right now for Mo Filski.
That could have been much worse for the Radiant too. Their Drow got stuck on the front line. Their Tiny got low, and they just didn't have any damage coming out because all these heroes are trying to get back to the positions they want to be in, which is behind their Necro. but good patience from the Dire there. They don't overcommit too much. You can see, I'm assuming Drow's calling, not Drow, Troll's telling his team to get out there. Ja threw one spell in and just backed right up. Obviously, they still want to get a bit more farm. They don't want to take any fights they don't have to. Full Nullifier is now finished on this Troll.
This is scary because, again, a lot of your defensive counterplay is the Four Staffs and the Ghost Scepters or the Ethereal Form from the Ghost Shroud, but that's not really going to be an option anymore once you have, actually, the Death Seeker as well, but still. Nullifier counters all of that.
Yeah, this is definitely aimed at taking out this Necro. It's the one problem the Dire have right now, and I'm sure this Necro is going to be a little bit scared if he has this much farmed Troll Warlord standing on top of him with a Nullifier. Jorik's on the cliff. Interesting.
He has become the strongest Observer Ward to ever exist. Wait, he's dead, actually. Oh, we know he's not dead! How is he not dead?
He managed the Sleeping Dart before the Bushwhack came out.
Oh my lord. Joe
And
Rick.
now he knows there's an Observer up there, too.
Joe Rick.
Roche is back up. This could end up becoming a very interesting fight here.
It's going to be the most important fight of the game. Both those chemo problems, they need this fight to go well. But if you're down a clown, you get that second life on Troll, you put the nail in the coffin more than likely. Throwing a free shard as well, it's always fun. Goodies in the pit. Again, there are a lot of good shards that are unpurchased right now. Obviously, the best shards of the game have already been purchased, but there are some cool ones that currently are not purchased, such as the Troll shard is nice. Speaking of tiny arrow. Will be there from long range, a pretty long stun there. Kisses are on the way to do a lot of damage. Tombstone is the counterplay. Tiny will Ogre Seal Totem forward, looking for a courier kill, and perhaps more after. He's again slept by Joe Rick. Arrow will miss. And just like that, our fight is over. It is a courier dead and nothing else.
You want to make another bet, Badger? So Jorik has currently sniped 3 couriers. He's had his courier sniped by Tiny twice. Who do you think is going to end up with more couriers killed?
That's a good question, actually. That's a very good question.
Is Jorik going to end up with more couriers killed, or is this courier going to die more?
We could check the Dota buff post game. That'll be in there once it's parsed. So,
you know, there's something interesting I'd like you to look at.
I'd
like you to look at this item build on Snapfire.
It's 6 dog. What do you expect?
He bought a refresher as the second item.
It's 6 dog. What do you expect?
So I don't expect
Wait,
anything.
smoke into the
6
pits.
dog.
Vico goes forward, jumping Marana immediately. Marana is kept alive the Guardian Creeps, however. Instead, it's up on Filski. Filski's nullified. He's dead. But no, he's not dead. No, he's still dead. And now it's Dork looking for Drow Ranger. Drow is forced away Vico BKBs, but it's time to run away. Kisses are still flying, and now it's a route on Nova. Nova will go no longer. Troll will battle trance on up, looking to go absolutely insane, bringing down the Undying. It's a dart on Vico as well. Undying is bought back, but it's an absolute disaster. Vico is nullified, brought down nice and easily. He'll avalanche to bring down 7 at the cost of his life. Nova will sharpshooter break Ja, but Ja cares not. That's a dieback on Undying. PMA will barely get away. Eventually, there were 2 sentries placed, but not quite enough to kill the Drow. Hoodwink might not be so fortunate, but they'll focus the tower instead. Radiant glyph the T3 bottom. Nova looks for a bushwhack, perhaps. But at this point, again, another one fight by the side of Down a Clown.
Yeah, they just had this Troll Warlord was on top of this Necrophos with a Nullifier and tag team, and he has this Heaven's Halberd, but he wasn't able to get it off. He just got blown up.
Oh, our good friend Roshan. He's dead. Goodbye. It will be both Shard and Aegis taken by Ja. So again, that is a nice shard to have. Not one you necessarily want to buy, but if you get it for free, then why not?
Yeah, he has the Blink Dagger now too, and it looks like he's working on this not arcane.
Bushwhack on job. They have to kill him twice, and he's not even dead once. He turns already. Still has that battle trance. Still has BKB. He'll use both. Turn it to Filski. Filski is in a lot of danger right now. They try to force him, but again, the nullifier. Vico goes in on Jorik. Now it's a 1-for-1 trade with Filski and Jorik both dying. Jorik buys back. Filski cannot. 7 gauge is snowballing, starting on to Vico, but it's a two-man
Oh,
charge as well. They're
huge
focusing
charge.
PMA. PMA cannot get away. He's dead. So is Nova. Neither have buyback. It's a 5v2. CB and Vico will both get away. But it's looking a lot like Game 2 right now. It's looking a lot like we're going to see two G's in the chat in the next 2 minutes.
It looked grim, but Radiant just weren't able to push fast enough, I guess. I guess their window just fell too quickly. They never ganked this troll after the laning phase, and he just came back.
Yep, it's, again, Six Dog tossing in Morana. The arrow will split the wickets, but I guess it buys time to siege more barracks. And now Ja, recognizing there's no buybacks, wants to go for the throne, perhaps. Or perhaps not. Returns to the range racks mid lane, so it's 2 racks for the side of down to Clown. And allow TP away. They'll mine their top lane. There's still a tier 2 top, therefore there cannot be megas yet. But again, the macro level play is very obvious for down to Clown. It's control the tri-camp area. You push in the top lane, which again will have Radiant favored equilibrium, but if you're hitting the Radiant creeps, it does not matter. And from there, you grab that T2, you grab that T3, you grab the megas, you grab 2 Gs in the chat, and you go game 2.
Radiant, if they have a smoke, they need to use it right now, which it doesn't look like. It's 20 seconds off. When that troll warlord TP'd bottom, their one chance at a fight was right there, charging into that dire, charging into their own triangle and just trying to kill that dire team before that troll came back. Unfortunately, they did not have a smoke, so the only thing they're able to do is go farm up their own jungle. But
they've run into Filski. There's no Ja, therefore there is no nullifier, but he's still killable on Filski. This is difficult. He's being chain stunned, but he can't get anything off. No pipe, no greaves. 100-0 chain stun. And again, no buyback. What was looking extremely bad now looks even worse. The tree volley from Vico will attempt to defend, but there's no crit. It's only tree volley with no crit. Ja still has 2 lives. Tanks a lot of PMA damage. Sleeping Guard is there on CB, but it will be megas for the side of down to Clown. Undying. Eventually might die. Punched up by Seb. That will be the kill. Vico engaged on Jorik, but Jorik has the tricks of the trade. Dart will be there on PMA. PMA will walk away, but again, that's megas. You still have 2 lives on Troll. You're up by 21,000 gold. And look at the hero net worth. Troll has 30,000 net worth. Nobody else even has 20,000.
Yeah. Another big thing here to point out is PMA did a lot of damage there, but he could have done even more if this wasn't a Troll Warlord. Troll Warlord has 17 bonus armor from his passive. He gets 10 from Nullifier. And he has Guardian Greaves sitting behind him. Like, there's just no way PMA can do enough damage now. Like, Drow's whole stick is she goes through base armor, and sure, he's an Agi hero, but he just has so much from his items and his abilities. He's just able to sit on the front line and tank it anyways.
He's effectively immortal to any armor or any physical damage does not the Drow as well. Obviously, there's not much physical damage on the way, but say tiny physical damage does nothing. Because he has 60 fucking armor! That's a lot of armor!
It's just ridiculous.
It's so much armor that I'm cursing. I never curse. Okay, I sometimes curse, but I generally don't curse. That's a lot of armor. Like, he only has like 56 right now, but he's had 60 this game. Morana gets gone on bottom lane. There's a site as well mid lane on Ja, but Ja is still half HP and has Battle Trance and BKB in 2 lives. Jorik gets tossed in by Six Dog. Snowball forward will stun on Vico. Vico's in the shards. Arrow will hit from a medium range, and eventually, Tiny will get forced away to his fountain. Back to the dire side, they're still as 5. Staying together, not looking to throw the game away. Troll will lose the Aegis in 5 seconds, so perhaps they'll back off and prolong the inevitable, but
yeah, Troll's getting close to his satanic, but he's not saving buyback, so if they manage to kill him once, that might be their one chance back into the game.
This is true. But yeah, we're gonna need a miracle for Radiant to win this game. And that will be the troll he bought out. And then he has to die. And even then, I'm not quite sure Radiant can kill the base in 100 seconds.
Yeah, the game lived and died on this troll. Like, it was dead, and the troll brought it back. And the only way you can make it dead again for the Radiant is if you kill this troll.
I was gonna
And
say
it's gonna be tough.
it's dead again, but now the predator has become the prey.
Yeah. And oh, this game just got so much tougher.
What are we looking at? What are we looking at?
Tusk has completed his Aghanim Scepter. He also does not have buyback. If we look at buyback statuses, nobody on the Dire has buyback. The only one who will have buyback is Jorik in 2 minutes. He has the gold. Everybody else does not have the gold. So they are, sure they have megas, but they are heavily reliant on not losing any fights now. Which,
Well,
it doesn't look like they're going to, but you never know.
it's time to jump
Oh,
PMA.
kickback.
He's kicked all the way towards everybody, but he's forced away by his teammates. Tombstones on the floor, Avalanche on two. Six Dog tosses in the Marana and Dyer are slowly running down the Tiny. Tiny still has half HP. Sleeping Arts there on Filski. Ja wants to Nullifier and go on Necro. He's manning up again, and Necro will get bursted again in the smoke cloud. Kick is there on Drow again. Drow is in the wrong place at the wrong time. Next and brought on down. Necro buys back. Drow has a buyback. CB's being gone on. CB is now dead. PMA still hasn't bought back quite yet. Filski again is nullified. And now again, that'll be a dieback on Filski if he dies. 2-man Avalanche delays, but does not prevent the death, and that'll be a GG in the chat. Game 1, in a comeback fashion, will go to Down to Clown.
Yeah, I think there may have been some mental damage there. Drow did have buyback for the final fight, didn't even use it, and called GG. I think they were done after that comeback.
At this point, again, if you're Filski, Mo problems, you say we have stuff to build on. We won all 3 lanes, which again, you generally don't do unless you're a very good Dota team, so it's taking the sort of things you did to win the lanes game 1 and then do it again, I guess. Let's just win all 6 lanes in the series. Why not?
They ran into this problem where they couldn't find the Ricky, and instead of diving behind the tower, which is a little bit scary because the Troll Warlord could TP and join the fight then, you either dive behind the tower and stop them from poking and prodding at you, or you somehow take the tower. I don't know. They either have to take a fight or take the tower, and if they're not taking these towers, like they're being delayed, you either have to gank this troll or just fully commit. I feel like they won the laning stage very clearly, and they had the right idea. They wanted to choke out the map, but they just weren't able to. This Dire team poked and prodded and poked and prodded, and instead of fully committing, which is a scary, risky play, they just kind of slowly lost. I don't know how else to describe it.
I mean, it went from being a very slow game to a very fast game to a very slow game again. A very nice, it's like a story in a book, you know, where you build up to your climax and then eventually you start wrapping the holes up, and it's like, yeah, you're slowing it down suddenly. That's the way to describe it. And again, I think game 2 should be interesting, no matter what happens.
For some wild grass, hopefully.
But,
I mean, there was a couple off meta picks. Most of them were meta. I just want to see shit that isn't meta. Kill me, I don't care.
I got some bad news for you. We're in the current patch.
And it's PMA. I know.
Yeah.
Wasn't there that meme about picking meta stuff? PMA was in it.
There's a lot of them, man. There's a lot of meta pickers in the league for good reason. I mean, the meta heroes are the meta heroes for a reason. But...
I know. I used to love Ricky 4 when Ricky 4 was shit, and all of a sudden they made Ricky 4 good, and I'm like, don't ever pick me this hero. This sucks. Like, I hate it. Like, I want Ricky Diffusal Blade 4 to be the main meta again, not this fucking sleeping dart bullshit. Like, no offense to Jorik, and I've played it myself, and Many players have played it themselves, but a fucking toddler could play Ricky 4 right now. like,
Oh
like
man.
Jorg played it very well, don't get me wrong, but like a fucking toddler can play Ricky 4 right now. We need a fucking patch. Like, oh, you buy you don't do anything for 15 minutes, you just pull lanes behind your tower, you buy the shard, and then you click heroes. It's cool, right? I'm like, no. They're like, oh, also by the way, get all your sleeping dart talents and your smokescreen talents, and you just cast that spell too. It's like, okay, but I have two other spells. What about those? And I go, you don't use
No.
those. You just use those to keep yourself alive. It's like, but they're supposed to deal damage, right? They're like, yeah, but no.
It breaks a blink dagger.
It breaks a blink dagger. You can get out when your snapfire chucks you onto the enemy backline. uh, what else does it do? Well, you can get a talent that it dispels dust. Yeah, that's the other thing. Was like you said, I feel like Radiant needed a gem. They either needed a gem or they needed to just buy every sentry ward they had in stock and just place them all around the tower they wanted to push. And the moment Jork either jumps in or throws a steeping dart or gets thrown in, you just fucking kill the guy. Like you have a blink tiny. Sure, he's gonna throw down smokescreen. You wait for him to walk out of smokescreen or blink out of smokescreen, and you jump two people at the same time. Like what you were doing wasn't working. You either change it or you go crazy. And I think they ended up going crazy because the definition of insanity is you do the same thing over and over again, you expect a different result. They kept smashing their heads against the brick wall, which was the dire tier 2 tower. They just weren't able to take it.
All
I mean, they
right.
finally did, but it lost them the game.
So I am looking it up right now. So Joe Rick killed 4 couriers, and his team only lost 2 couriers. Period.
And they were both his.
Correction, 3 couriers. Period. But again,
Oh, Murana lost hers once.
if your team is losing 3 couriers total and you're killing 4 couriers, mathematically speaking, it's impossible to have. Again, Jork won that one with 4 courier kills.
Oh, you definitely won the courier battle. I think emotionally and in numbers too. Right? We haven't done this in a while. If you had to give a match MVP, for the Radiant and the Dire, not just the Dire, because I think we know who you're gonna say for the Dire. Who would it be?
Vico and Ja, respectively. Actually, no,
I
I like the Filski. Actually, I think Filski's landing phase forms is too impressive. They not good. Like
yeah,
he
I think
actually beat up John Lane so badly, which honestly makes it more impressive that John made the comeback.
yeah, I'd say Filski for the Radiant. I think he played. I think CB played pretty well. Um, he did his job, but it's an undying in the late game. You don't really do anything at that point except for Tombstone, and there wasn't really any team fights. Um, And I feel like I have to give it to Jaw. I feel like there was some great plays from Jork. There's some great plays from really everybody on the Dire, but Jaw just kind of kept us cool and farmed and won them the game. Like the Dire team as a whole, as like minus Jaw, could be an equal MVP award to all four of them for holding out so long so Jaw could recover and win the game for them. But obviously the one person's efforts was the same as the other four combined in theory, right?
He basically had as much net worth as the other 4 combined, so you might as well.
Yeah. Like I hate giving the MVP to carries, not because I hate carries, which I do, but it's just they have the most net worth. Their job is to carry the game, so it's obvious to give it to them. But yeah, he just did such a good job that game. You have to give it to him.
Wow, carry bad, carry easy, new brawl, force support so hard. It's you.
All right, give me carry, and I'll go 8-click fucking camps on the enemy side of the map while my team does all the work.
I've seen your carry, bro.
Yeah, the difference is I'll lose the game after that happens. Javo. uh,
So I think you already know what time it is.
it's time for you to go to the bathroom and me
See,
to solo this draft.
yeah, I'll see you in a minute.
Yeah. All right. Well, you have the Filski Doom, which can be very scary. as we have seen in the past. Obviously, if they're willing to first pick it. I'm assuming this is a good to see you Marana again. And then Primal Beast could be mid. It could be 4. It could be 3. Who the fuck knows? I'm assuming it's a Joric hero based on the fact that it was picked first, and that's kind of similar to what they did last game. But we will see. I think last game, the Mo Filski More Problems team had the second pick. This time, Down to Clown has it. So we'll see how that affects their drafts. Obviously, it looks like they have decided to pick 2 cores in the first phase, obviously wanting to secure that Doom, but then they're also picking what I can only assume is a Pango mid. I don't know anybody else who does that. Obviously not my team. Please don't ban Pango. But very obvious bans here. You want to ban out the Bloodseeker and the Ember Spirit. So they're not very fun lanes for the Pangolier. Well, Ember Spirit being the lane for Pangolier, and Sev's a pretty good Ember Spirit, but then you ban out the Bloodseeker because Pangolier's unplayable when he gets ruptured. On the flip side, you ban out the Ursa and the Slark, which Primal Beast is not a very good hero at dealing with per se. Assuming that this Primal Beast is 3, it may be 4. Either way, you're going to be laning against these heroes. PMA does play both. Also, there is the Ricky ban and the Tree ban, not wanting to play against either of those. And then again, the Dire banned Lena and Nature's Prophet like they did last game. There is a Morphling ban, which Doom doesn't really like laning against Morphling, if I know that correctly. And obviously, if he gets the attribute shift off before being doomed, it's not very fun. I think Jaw's a Morphling player. I don't know if it's one of his main heroes or not. I haven't seen Jaw play in a while. I know PL is, and they banned it last game, I do believe.
Guess who's back?
Is
Back
Jaw
again.
is Morphling one of Jaw's main heroes? I know Naga and PL are.
Oh, that's a good question, actually. I'll look it up real fast.
Wait, was he? Oh no, he doesn't have Dota Plus, right? So you can't check
Yeah, his
that, right?
most played hero career is Morphling.
Okay.
He
So I'm
has
assuming that's why it's banned. Is Morphling a bad lane into Doom? I couldn't remember.
I mean,
I haven't played that much.
Morphling does not want to interact with Doom. If Doom's interacting and Morphling is not good for Morphling, but you can just not interact with Doom, I think, if you're Morphling. Obviously, if you get doomed, it's not good. But again, if you're Morphling, your number one goal is to avoid interacting with Doom as much as possible at literally every stage of the game until you're just too big to fail.
Hey Badger, I'm gonna throw you under the bus since you don't like drafting and you always throw me under the bus. You see this Mo Filski, Mo Problems team banner, right?
Yeah.
So remember when PMA went to have that one mid laner who was like, what, 7.5K? And you guys wouldn't let him? And he said those players aren't allowed in the league. I'd like to point out 2 players on the other team
Listen, buddy.
that they are currently playing.
This was 2 seasons ago. We had a different admin philosophy at the time. We were, after seeing the Nebula with 4 7Ks versus Pizza Dog with 4 7Ks matchup in the grand finals, we said, all right, we gotta like make a considerable effort to stop this like super rigged teams. And for like the next few seasons, we did that. And then last season, which was the season after the Vico thing. Wait,
It wasn't Vico though.
It was Muzi. We rejected Muzi in season 10, and they brought in Vico, and that ended up being a really good thing actually. PMA's teams, because Vico has been among the, if not the best mid laner in lads over the last 2 and a fraction seasons. So again, if you think about it, at the time it was a different admin philosophy with who we were going to allow into the league and who we weren't going to allow into the league, and again, We would have probably let Woozy in if it was season 12, but those were different times. They were different times, and Artorius, different times. You gotta I mean, you've been in Avenue, lads. You gotta realize that a lot of what we do is like a reaction to what already happened. You know, at the time we were reacting to more or less Pizza Dog versus Nebula, and then these teams at lower more actually end up winning the league a few times. It's like, oh yeah, you start inching it forward, and well, we're to see what happens this season now, aren't we? We're to see what happens. We got
See, I
drafted.
was an admin. I know you're all wimps. That's all I'm gonna say. Now I'm banned. Let's go.
We got a draft on our hands. I mean, how much have you actually talked about?
So I talked about the first phase up until I think all the bans up until Rubik, which I'm surprised there was a Rubik ban. I don't know if Nova is a Rubik player, but there's a Doom and Pangolier on the other team. You would assume they would be the ones to ban it.
Artorius, literally every 4 in the league, but you can play Rubik. You are the only 4 in the league you can't play Rubik.
Why would you give that away? Didn't somebody ban Rubik against us?
That team did not.
Now you just gave it away.
That team did not. There's no way that team was scouting, dude. There's no way that team was scouting. Ask our team. There's no way they're scouting.
All right, so there's a Void Spirit pickup, which I've voiced my opinions on Void Spirit, I think, in a past cast. I don't particularly like the hero because I don't think it does very much damage. I feel like it might need to be a little bit buffed as much as I hate the hero and hate playing against it because I'm a sport player. On the flip side, I think it's decent against Pangolier because it obviously has lockdown for him and it has a bit of jump. Then on the flip side, I'm assuming this is both supports with the Snapfire Clockwork. Clockwork Pango can be interesting because you have the Cogs and Bounce from the Pango ulti, which can either fuck up your Pango or help him. And then you also have Snapfire Ags, which you can, if the Pause 5 eventually gets Ags, assuming this is a Pause 5 Snapfire, it might be a 5 Clockwork, who knows, but if Snapfire gets Ags, you can throw in a Rolling Pangolier, which is quite fucking dangerous. But then we see the Terrorblade pick up. How do you feel about Terrorblade into Doom Pango Snapfire?
I mean, just don't get hit.
But you have the magic damage from the Snapfire. You have the lockdown from the Pangolier.
As I said,
you can get doomed.
Don't get hit. Like, if Jod does not get hit, he could probably do what he did last game, but even better, just being a faster farmer than the troll is. The problem is you cannot get gone on by literally like any of these heroes. Your job is to avoid interact. Much like Morphling, right? Except Morphling is probably a little more able to fight the other non-Doom heroes, but again, if you're Terrorblade, you avoid interacting, you use your illusions, you play the safe farm, use the illusions to get the unsafe farm, read the map well, and again, Ja, as evidence from last game, and literally every game was in last, pretty much, excellent player at playing the map in general, so makes a lot of sense, the style of hero here.
The one thing I am scared for, which might be why it's a good TB pick, is it doesn't matter if this is a Doom Snapfire or a Doom Clockwork. I don't think this Terrorblade is going to get kicked out of the lane too early. Even though he only has a Mirana backing him up. It's just not a very strong early game lane, as per se a Necrophos is.
The thing is, like, when Doom is at, like level 3, level 4, level 5, then it's definitely a winning lane for sure. I mean, Cookie into Doom damage, the creep active, I'm sure it's something of value, so.
Sure, but the first couple levels, this Terrorblade's definitely going to get farm, and by then, it's not the worst thing in the world to get kicked into your jungle as a Terrorblade. It's not great, but it's okay. On the flip side, we have a Faceless Void and no silences on... Well, no, never mind. There is Void Spirit Ags for silences against this Faceless Void.
I don't think Sev rushes Ags, does he?
I don't know. It's been a while since I played with Sev.
You know what? I'm doing some Sev scouting right now.
However, there is still a lot of lockdown that can catch this Faceless Void. And there isn't per se necessarily a save hero, but there is a lot of disruption from his team that could keep him alive.
Hey, remember when I said Sev's not an Ags rusher?
He's an Ags rusher?
He's an Ags rusher. Last game you played on Void Spirit, first item Ags. Last one before that, first item Ags. Last one before that, first item Ags. Last one before that, E-Blade into Ags. So he is a big Aghanim's Scepter enthusiast. So apparently I don't know my Sev Void Spirit very well, but...
This is remember how PMA and CB did a very good job in the laning stage last game?
That's not happening in this game, is it?
I don't think it's happening this game. No. CB is gonna have to work his heart out to even keep Primal Beast off PMA, let alone 6-Dog on a Viper.
On the
PMA
bright
is not
side,
gonna have a fun lane.
6-Dog's not like... He's not like your Viper player. He's not like your Viper player's Viper, you know? He's gonna buy, like, interesting items. So he's not gonna necessarily...
It doesn't matter. It's
I
Faceless
know.
Void versus Viper. It's damage over time
I know.
versus Faceless Void.
Well, let me cope, please. Just let me cope.
The only thing that I can really see is if PMA is on full health and Jorik sprints in with his rush ability and trample, and then he time walks that off. But other than that, he's not really time walking off damage.
Please let me cope. Thank you. But again, 6-Dog. The problem is, I feel like the items that 6-Dog buys on Viper have become actually meta. Or before, 6-Dog was like buying the Ags and stuff when it wasn't really necessarily considered good. People are just buying the Ags now. So, I don't know. Maybe we'll see like some like Mjolnir build or something stupid from 6-Dog. I don't know. But this is a really good draft from down the clan, I think. I think they're going to win this game number 2.
I don't know anybody else who buys stupid items on heroes. Couldn't be me. I don't buy as crazy items, sure, but I still buy stupid
Okay,
items.
to be fair, you're a sub player. Sub players are allowed to buy stupid items, especially if they have gold like you do.
Imagine buying Holy Locket, Glimmer Cape on Wyvern. That could never end up becoming meta. I will never let anyone live that one down.
Could you leave Gregory alone, bro? Have you seen where he lives, man? He's near the train derailment, bro. Leave him alone.
That was Silverpike as well, I think, on that one.
Leave Silverpike alone. He's got kids, and he
only plays RuneScape.
Yeah, he's cursed by having children. He's cursed by playing RuneScape. He's playing the worst game mode in RuneScape too.
Imagine wanting to have kids. And be me.
I digress. If you are just joining us, welcome to game number 2. Thanks for y'all chat, George. Welcome to game number 2 of Down to Clown, taking on Mo Filski, Mo Problems. Mo Filski, Mo Problems came off to a hot start in game 1, won the lanes handily, but could not finish the game. Down to Clown, currently 4-1. They're looking for their 5th win of the season, make a 5-1 record. For Mo Filski, Mo Problems, they simply need this win to even be 500. They're 1-2 right now. My name is Badger. I'm joined by Season 4 champion, Artorius. And hopefully we are in for a long time. Or, here for a good game. Say words, please. I'm gobbling right now. Say some words.
Goblin these nuts, according to Jorik.
I was reading Jorik's all chat. I was reading Jorik's all chat, and it distracted me because it's like Jorik is a bar like that. That like Joe Rick KU social circle where every other joke is like a D's nuts reference, like a like I mean, they would have a lot of fun with the Boa Farah dinner. Let's put it that way.
Yes, and Cox.
Oh, God.
I will not explain farther on that one.
If they want to know, they can figure it out themselves.
Well, since there's nothing really happening right now, let's talk about player sponsors. It appears Filski's is Fuck Cancer. We have Job, which is Luck Fun, Good Fun.
Looking for girlfriends.
Oh, I didn't know that. I'm an idiot.
Yeah.
PMA is his girlfriend's, which is Bez. Her name is Dez, but it's fine. Close enough. I don't know anybody else who has their girlfriend as a sponsor who's spelt incorrectly. Then, let's see. We have here Fishy on an effigy by Filski, and we have now Watch Me Whip, which is an invoker, I believe.
I am not going to effigies. I don't care how many times you mention them.
And then PMA has a drow one that says "Die Degenerates Weeb, Tinkers."
Based.
On the other side was I Can't See a Shit Captain, which is a monkey one by Jorik. We have Hail Horstler by Six Dog. I'm guessing he means Coddle is Hitler because he genocides chaos.
Why are you
So
looking at effigies? There's nothing good you can do looking at effigies. Haven't you learned from TI, bro? There's nothing
Hey,
good you can do from looking at
at
these.
least Hail Horstler is not a racial slur.
What?
And then we have Hops by Jaw, which is a very good one.
I'm going to kill it. I see. It's funny. You're like 250s. I'm like, yeah, we should stop talking about effigies. You go through all the effigies. Nobody. You're killing me. Absolute moron, Artorius.
I care about effigies
You are
and
probably
sponsors.
like
Oh wait,
sponsors,
Jorik
maybe.
has
But
Clueless. I didn't realize Jorik is that for the player or is it just because he's clueless?
it's a double entendre.
Okay. All right. Well, now we can start talking about lanes because now there's actually stuff to talk about. It appears that Sev is heavily winning mid lane so far. Oh well, not as heavily anymore. Actually, it's just he's not very far off on. Oh, but he is getting both water runes, which is kind of huge. On the flip side, we have top lane, where neither person is farming very well, and and then we have bottom lane where it appears that Doom is farming pretty well, but Ja seems to have a free lane so far. Obviously, subject to change as they gain levels on Snapfire and Doom.
Actually, you've seen a lot of trades in both of these side lanes in general so far this game. Again, it's been a rough day to be Snapfire and a rough day to be Clockwork, but again, neither have died quite yet. We're still waiting on our first blood, but
Yeah, but the difference in between the Snapfire and the Clockwork is the Clockwork has more regen. The
first
Snapfire is
blood?
out.
No first blood. Good to see you wanted the kill, but could not kill Nova. Meanwhile, top lane, Jorik's being run down, actually. Battery Assault is active. Jorik is juking, but wait, I hear it has a lot of move speed, so he's fine.
Was he looking to snipe the courier?
He's thinking about it. He's thinking about it. But I can say, though, is Vico has Bottle, needs the 4-minute water rune, but Sev has the Astral Remnant. He'll hit it on Vico. The rune will go to Sev. And the top one is camped by Jorik. So all 4 water runes went to down to Clown. Again, this is a much better start in the laning phase for sure. No doubt about it. I mean, right now it's not a fun day to be PMA. Not a fun day to be Vico. Filski's doing all right, but other than that, it's not a great laning phase so far.
Yeah, they definitely drafted a bit better for their lanes on the Radiant side this time. Last game obviously looked very rough. Drafted for the game, and it ended up working out for them, but we will see how this one goes.
You know what's better? Courier watch, Courier watch. Oh no, it's going to die. R.I.P. Courier.
He did point out that he had a ward on the high ground here, but it's about to expire, so I don't even know if CB or PMA noticed it. Vico is forced to walk back to base, however.
No bounty rune, no water rune. Wait, bottom lane. I missed the first blood. It's been a while since I missed first blood. It's a throwback. I blame you.
Yes,
I've been,
I was talking during that.
I've been catching first blood ever since you stopped casting with me.
I distract you
Apparently,
with my idiocracy. Ah, that's a good reference.
It is. It's a great movie. Great movie.
This might be a little bit rough for Pangolier here because since he left the lane, he does now have more XP, but there is a full wave here. Sev should, in theory, hit 6 first.
That is... My god. Ja died bottom lane. Now good to see you as 1 leap remaining. That'll be a survival on the Morana. I was distracted by Sev middle lane. I don't know what's going on with my camera work right now, but I'm just not catching kills.
Forgot to hold the alt button to see hero's health.
I have it on by default.
No, I don't know.
My mid lane, you mentioned it. 6 for Seb, but Seb used both steps already. He's still manning on the Vico. Pump fake the roll. Now heads for the rune, but again, RNG in a skill-based game. It'll go to Jorik instead. Over at bottom lane, it's Nova cooking forward. And that'll be a counter kill. Again, Morana wanted to kill, but instead it's to kill onto Morana. Over to top lane, meanwhile, Six Dog simply used right clicks and killed CB.
Yeah, it looks like CB wanted to put a little bit of pressure on him. PMA had a time walkout. Didn't get the kill.
Speaking of pressure, Joe Rick wants to dive here at the double damage rune. PMA, I think Joe Rick might wait for the onslaught forward, but PMA, good read in situation. Dodges the damage from Six Dog and the onslaught from Joe Rick. Perhaps Joe Rick should have waited for the time walk, but again, good escape there by PMA. PMA was almost certainly dead there, barring that perfect reaction. Over to bottom lane. Jaws being ganked by Vico, but Swashbuckle is short. A rare mistake by Vico. Good to see you as Leap in 1 second. Leap. We likely used to get to the high ground, but the problem is you are dead. Morana down. That's now 3 kills for the side of Mo Filski. Mo problems. But as that happens again, it's still a relatively even net worth situation, and that's including the Doom net worth. And again, for those who don't know Dota that well, Doom will often end up with a semi-inflated net worth thanks to buying a Midas and having Devour Gold. So, again, that 3k net worth on Filski this game is not as valuable as the 3k net worth on Necro last game. Top lane CB's dead, by the way. CB is extremely dead. You're saying?
Yeah, he's dead. But the other thing about top lane is look at the amount of denies.
Wait, Jaw's dead bottom lane. They went on him again. Filski and Nova just destroying Jaw.
He even forced TP, which probably won't help top lane because it's a fucking Viper.
Wait,
and
Viper...
he has 21 denies. This is not fun for PMA right now.
I had it on a net worth, but back to bottom lane, Joe Rick's dead again, but what? That's a lot of denies.
Yeah, like we said, it was subject to change here, where the Doom Snapfire lane was getting beat up a bit. They got their levels and they got their kills. It appears that they did not want to respect the 3 points in Scorched Earth on the Radiant side.
You look purely at net worth, the lane doesn't seem that good for Viper, but the denies certainly give you information. CB and Nova are both top lane. Nova has 6 actually. 6 Dog is dead. Despite having the a lot of HP and 2 points in the passive of the corrosive skin, it's not enough. It's still a death there on Viper. A big kill. Unfortunately, did not go to PMA, but again, it's a well worth a kill to get.
Yeah, that's a huge rotation. Going from getting a pretty much transitioning a lane win bottom to supporting other lanes is really what you want to do on 4. And it's not like there's anybody really here that can push the Doom out unless you get a rotation from Sev, because he has Doom, and you don't really want to screw with that on most heroes. Does he have his... He has his Midas complete, too, at 9 minutes, which is pretty good, considering he only has 1 point in Devour. On the flip side, you also have PMA going Midas, so obviously playing for the late game here on the Dire side.
Bottom lane, Onslaught stuns, Sev rotates in, Filski will get Remnanted back, Stick has Doom on Sev, in comes Vico on the rotation, Sev is certainly dead, but can Jorik get the deny? The answer is hell no. So again,
wasn't thinking about it that time.
Jorik is still running, now stunned under tower, Swashbuckle to follow, Vico wants the kill as Shield Crash in 3, probably was like, meant to click Joe Rick, sorry, with the tip. But regardless, 2 kills there for Vico, double kill for the Pangolier, and apparently a missed tip by Filski, meaning the bad manner Joe Rick instead bad manner. What the hell, Joe Rick? Oh my lord. Okay, no, Joe Rick's face, he's faced.
We don't have Monopoly money, I don't know what you're talking about.
I'd rather have Monopoly money than Canadian dollars.
And it's not half Jorik, it's 70%. Come on, get it right.
It's gotta be like down to like 65% by now. There's no way
I think
it's
it
still
was
70%.
at like, I thought it was at like 77 last time I remember.
It's 75 for a while, but I don't know.
I'm looking this up. I'm looking it up.
What's our calculations?
It is at 73. It is still above 70.
You know, Canadian dollar must be really overvalued then. There's no way. 70, yeah, there's no way. I would not give up 73 cents for Canadian dollar. There's no way.
I think it's been 70 for like the past 4 years. Like in the 70 range.
Yeah, we gotta shift that line. I don't know. The most I would give is 2 quarters in the nickel for Canadian dollar. The most.
Do you have a loony or a toonie?
I don't know what those are, dude.
It's a Canadian dollar and $2. And then they're coins because we're not poor and have to use paper like Americans.
We have coins, we just don't use them because they're
You only
inconvenience.
use them for like cents and shit.
I mean,
You know what we
we
don't
do
have?
have
We
we
don't
do
have
have.
pennies anymore. We got rid of them. You wanna know why? Because they're fucking useless.
You are right about the pennies, but we have dollar coins. Just nobody uses them because they're
Oh wait, I actually saw one the other
inconvenience.
day. Yeah.
There are United States dollar coins.
I mean, I can't really chirp. I don't carry any change in my wallet.
Nobody
Hell, I barely even
nobody
carry
does.
money in my wallet. I just carry cards now.
Yeah, so I mean, I carry like $15 cash and in a card. I don't carry much cash anymore.
I think I have $10 because I got it in a card.
You never know when you might need cash sometimes, but again, it's very rare. So
So yeah, I would be talking about the game, but nothing's really happening right now.
yeah, that's why I'm usually if something's happening, I cut you off. Like right now, Joe Rick is poking around with CB, but again, CB playing the high ground, zones away Joe Rick, and he wants to walk forward this direction, but again, that's the danger zone. Looking at Radiant Vision, danger zone, no vision, so they're not gonna go there. They'll stay over here.
Looks like Snapfire is looking to go for a first item Lotus Orb, which is interesting because it is very good against this Primal Beast hero, as well as this Terrorblade hero.
Oh, PMA. He sniffed out the gank, but he sniffed it out too late. Onslaught into step forward, into Sev with the kill. And it seems like the counter movement by Mo Filski, Mo Problems to be too slow to go on Ja. They know Ja's up here somewhere. But the question is, can he get there in
Jaw
time?
sniffs this one out.
Wait, he has no TP. The TP is on the courier. The courier will die. The Ja will die. Correction, the courier will live, but Ja most certainly will not. The question then becomes, can they avenge their Terrorblade? Terrorblade does not have Sunder. He had the skill point available, but did not skill it. Not that it would have mattered. He was still stunned. So across the map, both carries die. Relatively even trade.
You know, during all of your A clicking, if your team man ganks the enemy carry, surely as a carrier you must realize, I shouldn't be standing anywhere. I can be ganked, right?
Yeah, I think if
You
he
would
had the
think.
TP, he'd be fine. Because usually Ja will go from here where I'm drawing a box up to the trees. He makes that play all the time where he goes wave, gets trees. If he had the TP, he would have been out in time.
I
But
don't know.
he just didn't.
As a support player, I just get triggered when I gank the enemy carry and then my carry dies. I'm like, what the fuck were you doing? Their carry is supposed to be an idiot, not you.
I don't want to hear your comments about carries. You don't know anything about carries. There's
All
only
right,
one.
well,
There's only one carry you know about.
speaking of carries, PMA has finished his Midas. It is on the courier now, so there's 2 Midases on the Dire now. So while he may have not had a lot of net worth because of the sheer amount of denies that Viper skillfully got, even though he's a Viper player, it now doesn't matter because, fucking carries.
Dude, Six Dog has been slowly hitting this mid tower for the last minute and a half. The tower's still fine, by the way.
Dude, is Six Dog and Jim just the same person? Remember Jim in our one
No.
game? We just got into like an entire 5-minute fight, and the whole time he was just clicking the bottom tower by himself.
Actually, there actually are a lot of similarities between Six Dog and Jim, but they're not the same person.
It seems like they're the same person. At least when they play Viper.
The problem is the only thing is like Viper. Everything else is different.
Alright, well, we almost have a BKB completed on Doom. And we have the Diffusal Blade, and halfway to a Blink Dagger on Pangolier. This Snapfire has switched off of Lotus Orb and is now picking up a Force Staff, which they are close to completing. Clockwork is looking towards getting his wand. There is a Phase Boots picked up on the Primal Beast. Doesn't look like he's going for anything else yet.
Bottom lane,
There's
CB's dead,
nothing
by the way.
curious.
Onslaught gank, arrow from long range, on top of a corpse. Not that it mattered. A very easy kill there for Joe, Rick, and Six Dog. Now I'll get parlayed into that bottom T1 tower. Siege unit's there. The tower will no longer be there. But again, that mid T1 remains alive. The Radiant mid siege unit is dead, so what's more important, tower is kept alive for longer.
Well, you were correct about Six Dog rushing the Ags. However, you were incorrect about Seb rushing the Ags. He's rushing an E-Blade, perhaps looking to blow up this Faceless Void before he even gets Time Lock off. So you don't need to silence him if you just fucking kill him. That
All right.
CB though.
Fight in the dire side by the dry camp. Arrow from medium range there on Clockwork. Jorvik can be the trade. And again, it's CB dead. Jorvik already traded, so it's a 1-for-1 so far. Sev is being gone on, but he steps away. Meanwhile, Six Dog is on the high ground, left alone. He'll attempt the man fight up. Viper Strike used on Vico. TP away will not be successful. Cancelled by the Infernal Blade of Filski. Good fight there for the side of Mo Filski. Mo problems. Pick up the core kill, you get 1 kill on top. It's a relatively good trade.
Yeah, it looks like Six Dog wanted to potentially turn around and continue fighting that because he decided to not walk down the staircase, but instead walk around to the side, or maybe he was looking to TP out. But they definitely had vision of him.
It's part of the reason why he's going the Ags. It'll help him in scenarios like that where it's a very tight map scenario where you can, get over the high ground, get back to the high ground, that sort of thing. But as it currently stands, we're just we're not doing that. We're just we're playing Dotes without the full Ags on Viper. Again, Viper not known for being a particularly fast farmer, so maybe a while until he gets that extra 2,000 gold.
Looks like they are looking for this jaw kill again, but this time they will not have Mortimer's Kisses, and they will have to go a little bit deeper in order to find them.
You see Jaw right now. They have him under the ward. Looking at dire vision, they see TB at the edge. They see him walking to the north. The smoke is still active. They want to go on Jaw. But again, they're not jumping. Instead, it's Jorvik breaking the smoke of Vico. Unfortunate near miss there. For Mothos chemo problems.
I think they're a little bit scared. None of the other heroes are showing on their map or on their vision, so the only heroes they had sight of was Jork in the mid lane and Jaw farming triangle.
Again, that incomplete information certainly did not help them. Even if they saw Jaw, you were right, they didn't see the other important heroes. Sev, E-Blade's PMA, but again, PMA time walks away in time.
They knew where PMA was about because they have that deep ward there, but they weren't able to see that he had safely farmed the camp.
And again, they still want to go on PMA. PMA is another brush with the Radiant side, but instead, dire jump on Viper in mid lane by the river. The trade may be for PMA. It will be for PMA. It's a 1-for-1 trade so far. We're seeing a Doom on Sev. Sev is not dead quite yet, but again, eventually we'll get run on down there by everybody. So it's a 2-for-1 there in favor of the side of Mo Filski, Mo Probs. Again, they're getting more and more, moderately decent team fight wins, but this Terror Blade is increasingly becoming a problem. Back to mid lane, Ron is getting jumped on. Jorvik jumps in for Vico. Inferno Blade is there on Jorvik. The arrow will zone away the Doom for that time being. And the fight's over, but again, this TB problem is only going to get worse. I heard they made it very, very far in this game.
Yeah, you pretty much need this Chronosphere to kill him. Either that or Doom. You're either going to use your Chronosphere to kill Sev and your Doom to kill Jaw, or you're going to flip it. However, your Faceless Void is nowhere near ready to fight. He needs this Maelstrom, he needs his BKB, and he probably even needs to finish off to like Molnir or one other item in order to deal damage in these fights. And the other problem you have with Chronosphere is if you Chronosphere anyone but the Void Spirit, you can E-Blade them, and your Faceless Void won't deal any damage to them. Sure, you might have Mortimer's Kisses to deal that damage, but that is something you have to consider.
Again, relatively slow game. Maybe I'm used to last game, but we're seeing action finally where CB was trying to get information, but again, at the cost of information, he has lost his life. So again, that's an 8th kill now for the side of down to Clown. Mid lane, we see a fight break out as well, but Jorvik again is holding the fort. Both mid T1s are still alive at minute 20. There have been 3 towers taken total in the game. And again, it is a farm game. Doom farming, TB farming, Pango farming. The problem is Void still has pretty mediocre farm, and that's a bit of a problem. The Midas Maelstrom will certainly help with that issue, but as it currently stands, it is most certainly an issue.
Yeah, we do have an Octarine core pickup on the Doom. But so far, your main form of initiation is reliant on this Clockwork and this Pango, who manages to get the roll up off, and is going to commit the ulti.
I don't think Sev gets to kill anyways without the roll up, but at this point, Vico's just rolling on around, stunning Sev. Sev will dissimulate. Jorik onslaughts in. Arrow hits on Filski. Good arrow to have. Remnant will be there on Vico as well. Filski BKB is hooked in by CV. It's into his own Doombringer, so yeah, tip comes out. Six Saw goes in the lines with that dive bomb on Viper. Headed on in, trying to man fight up the clock, but he's inside the cog. CB will die. First step of the team fight, and Joe Rick wants more, but it's disengagement time. Mid T1 is finally dead. RIP our friend the Mid T1 tower.
Mid tier 2 might be dead. There's a DD on Jaw, and he has decided. No, never mind. He has decided he does not want to help push it.
You know, it is time for Ja to hit more creeps. Ja, you know, wants the Scotty, wants the other TB items, and he's not there yet.
So you do have the Snapfire switching the Force Staff back to the Lotus Orb. Full Lotus Orb picked up on the Pause 4. Looks like Pangolier wants to go back for the eggs. Void Spirit's going back for the eggs. And Viper has his eggs. And Force Staffs are now being bought on the Dire Support's BKB first item for the Primal Beast is not quite close to being done, but there is a 5-man smoke gang, so.
And looking at Radiant Vision, they didn't see the smoke itself. They should have some items up. Nobody's showing. There's good vision in all three lanes and at the Dire Tri-Camp. However, Six Dog still gets caught in the Dire side jungle. A hard nut to crack, but Dire are focusing on Viper. Viper is now half HP inside the cogs. Dork is brought down as well, so it's 2 kills there for Mofilski Mo problems, and at that point they can check off 2 of their problems because 2 of them are dead. Roshan is certainly a possibility, but again, Dire don't have the fastest Roche speed in the world, so they're going to, again, just push out the lanes and farm.
Yeah, which isn't the worst thing in the world. You really don't commit anything for that. Like, sure, you commit a 5-man smoke gang, but you get 2 heroes. You delay this BKB heavily on the Jorik hero, and you pick off the one main frontliner they have for the Radiant. And the only thing it costs you is roll, which is going to be off cooldown by the time these heroes are anywhere on the map that you don't want them to be on the Radiant.
You know, I'm hoping that this game gets some really cool team fights later on.
Assuming it will. I'm hoping for the late game where you get like the refresher on Faceless Void, and you have this TB who's just 6 slotted, and you just get these crazy ass fights.
And that's what we are waiting for at this point. Again, we are at the slower stage of the game. It's been, you know, if you open up the graph, there's a lot of like little dots that indicate action, but it's lying to you. It's Sentry Ward, Observer Ward, Sentry Ward, Observer Ward, CB dying, Observer Ward, Sentry Ward. Like it's not like we're living a big fight. You know, that's what we're hoping for. And
There might be one here.
might be CB. Actually, might just be CB dying again. But he's
But
buying
there is a
space.
Chronosphere follow-up if they do go on him and PMA decides he wants to fight. One thing that I think could be interesting here is, and could be a big factor in this game, is Filski is currently going for his shard, but Filski's Ags. That could be huge, because you can just use Doom without using Doom.
Yeah, I mean,
Because, well, I guess you self-cast it, but then you just run people down. And he has this Octarine core, so the cooldown is going to be reduced. So the amount that he'll be able to have that up is going to be quite scary for this Radiant team.
Seeing TP's bottom by 6 Saw. It could be trade of towers, or could it be a defense bottom lane? Filski's half HP. Dire glyph their top T2. Ja has left a little bit. It's still a bit of split action from the side of down to Clown, but again, they're down for splitting the map. This T2 is still there. Jaws Illusions will want to finish it, of course, but I think they will. Yeah, it will be a dead T2 by the Manta Illusions. Morana going for the last hit, and will not get it. Ja gets it instead. Over to Jorik. He's scouting things out with the invis from Moonlight Shadow. Now he's in a little bit of danger, but it could be fight time. PMA has the angle on the south side, looking for a chrono, but instead it's CB who walked all the way over on the angle. Hook shot on Jorik. Arrow hit on CB. Filski runs on forward towards the Primal Beast. PMA time walks in. Jorik will time on out to a death. And just like that, Vico's rolling up looking for more, but good to see you. Leaps away. So again, it is one death on Primal Beast. And our fight is over. It is a marginally decent win for the side of Mo Filski, Mo Problems. But again, they're only up by less than 1,000 net worth with the Doombringers' inflated net worth. So in real terms, Radiant are up by probably about 4 to 5k net worth. And, well, Six Dog is in danger. And Six Dog will attempt to fight, but again, Six Dog at this point, you gotta accept your death, you throw out the spells, and you die. So again, now it may finally be Roshan time. Dire have gotten 2 pickoffs right outside the Roshan pit, and then we'll walk away anyways.
And Filski's been very conservative with his Doom, so every time they make these plays and they get these ganks, oh god, he has Quickening Charm now too, so it's gonna be on an even lower cooldown. But every time they make these ganks, he's not using Doom, so then the Radiant have to continue to play scared. Like, Sev doesn't want to fight, really, if Doom's off cooldown. Like, sure, he wants to fight, but he definitely does not want to get doomed. And you can't start these fights just however you want if Doom's not on cooldown. And now you got to be a little bit more scared. They haven't noticed it yet, but Filski has picked up a Blink Dagger, so he's going to doom whoever the fuck he wants now.
It could be go time right now. It's a 2-man smoke gank, rendezvousing with Vico. Sev, possibly the ideal Doom target, was in the river, but no jump quite yet. Again, both teams working on limited vision. They do not have the Omni vision we have, sadly, so...
He might run into Jaw here.
That's the real Terrorblade. There we go. That's a Doom into the hook shot. A huge pick off on Jaw. Terrorblade down, and you've finally flattened Terrorblade. Over to mid lane, PMA has Chrono. Perhaps could use it on Jorik, but he wants to get the Bash instead. Bash, still not there. Finally there, allowing Filski to close the gap and bring down Jorik. 2 kills, including the all-important Terrorblade one. And guess what? We're again right outside the Roshan pit, and Filski will walk on in. It's Roshan time, baby. Radiant surely know it, but can they stop it? Remnant will hit on Vico. But again, we're seeing an arrow on CB as well. In the Radiant Tri-Camp, Nova and Vico rotate over. They want to avenge their CB. Morana leaps away. Sev still plays the Roshan pit. Vico is rolling on up, looking for Six Dog, but Six Dog again, incredibly tanky. Filski blinks in. Infernal blading Viper. Viper is 2/3 HP. Arrow hits on Filski. Vico's being gone on by Sev. Sev wants a solo kill. Vico is dropping. Vico gets away once again. PMA goes into the Chronosphere onto. It's Viper. It's Morana. The focus will be there. Onto Viper. As good as he is being gone out with the Mortimer's kisses. Six Dog still alive. Vico, the trade. 1-for-1. Sev has a remnant on Filski. A huge play from Sev, and he wants more. He wants more kills. Nova is forced to TP away. PMA is forced to run away. Roshan is still alive, and guess who joins Roshan? It's Sev, the big bad Terrorblade, to finish off Roshan. And Sev wants PMA, has a step in. This could be a massive kill. E-Blade, Remnant, no! Disable still, it's gonna be a dead on PMA! What a huge solo kill by Sev! He's popping off, buying so much space for Roshan. Roshan is still alive. Ja is working on it. CB has the vision, wants the hook shot. Ja is going in. Hook shot is blocked by Morana. A great play by Good to See You. And just like that, CB is inside the Roche pit with no chance of escape. A very chaotic string of events, all eventually in favor of Down to Clown.
Yeah, that was... they just don't have the damage to kill Roche. It took too long, and the heroes that were still alive are the heroes that you don't want to be alive if you're taking Roche. Like, you have the Morana up, who has... I don't know if she had the mech before that fight, or if she just picked it up now. I'm assuming she had it before the fight. But that arrow, that Moonlight Shadow, and follow-up damage from Starstorm potentially. You have Sev, who's elusive, can jump in and out of the pit, disrupt your fight, and then this Viper, who's just tanky, and you don't want to go on. I think, unironically, they either have to finish that Roche and let CB die, or CB doesn't need to be
Or the
that far away
bottom
from
lane,
his team.
Jork's being gone on, he turns it onslaught, and he's going to die, but he's bought time for his team to arrive. Ja leads the way. Nova TPs. Vico rolls. Nova is successfully TP'd away. Filski has a good blink. Meanwhile, Seb Soul goes to the north side of the fight back to Ja. He still wants to stick on Vico, but Vico's a little bit too much of a roll master. Sev has been doomed, but it's a hard kill to get. Filski wants it. Cookie forward. Stuns on Sev. Sev will die. But now Six Dog and Ja are fighting, looking for Filski and Vico. Filski TPs away. Successfully, I might add, as Vico gets away as well. A very good disengage from the side of Mo Filski, Mo Problems. Sadly for the Tier 2 tower, it cannot disengage in that fashion. It has been slain.
That's huge. That stops the high ground push. They're still going to try it, and Chronosphere is now off cooldown. It wasn't off cooldown for 3 seconds there. But it looks like they just want to go anyways.
Alright, Filski will go on Ja, who has 2 lives, and Sunder, and BKB, and Manta. He's got a lot of things, actually. Filski cares not. Ja has about a third HP. Hit the Sunder. Filski goes in, going for the stun. They need to kill Ja right here, right now. Ja wants the Sunder. He's forced out the way, however. PMA engages BKB, hitting Six Dog. Now Ja will Sunder, good to see you, but it's time to disengage. You've lost your Viper. Your Void Spirit is still dead. And perhaps they can play with the Aegis in the next 2.5 minutes, but it's time to run, and Filski is running on forward. He's way faster than Ja. He has 100 more move speed, but Filski does not know where Ja is. Therefore, Ja's haste rune is fine.
And we now see Filski is looking to pick up this Axe. He has his Blink Dagger. He has his Boost of Travel. He has his Octarine, BKB, and Quickening Charm. He can stay on whoever he dooms. And while Radiant did end up getting the Aegis, I think they don't really get a good use out of it. You know, they lose 2 heroes. They get 2 towers out of it, but those towers don't really mean much at this point in the game. And on top of that, yeah, I think the better reason why they got it is it denied Dire the Aegis.
I think you're
that's
mistaken.
the bigger play.
I think you're mistaken to talk about it in like the past tense. It's still not over yet. There's still half to rate. Okay, you're about a third duration for Ja. There's still plenty of time to group up and go for one more crack at high ground with the meta again in 30 seconds. I think that's going to be the case. If they're going to head through the Radiant mid lane to the Dire side jungle into perhaps a high ground push, or even just a fight. A fight in general could be an option still.
But it might bait them in. You know, Dire still have all of their ultis. You know, this Octarine and Quickening Charm dooms back up by the time Sev's alive. So now you have this push, sure, but it might bait them into a bad fight. It might win them the game. Who knows?
And you know what?
We're about to find out.
I'm fine with either of those outcomes, to be honest. I really am. Those are both exciting. And never mind. We're backing off again.
I mean, that's what I mean. It's pretty scary. Sure, you have this Scotty and Crystallis and BKB and Manta and Dragonlance, but I think he wants a Satanic. He finishes his data list, but yeah, they're not going high ground. I'm assuming he doesn't feel confident yet. He is going back for a Dragonlance and a Hurricane Pike.
Maybe it'll be that second Roshan, get that second bout of immortality. That'll do it, but
yeah, he'll probably have a shard by then, unless they give it to Sev. Sev's looking to buy one right now. Viper already has his, and so does Primal Beast. So I'm assuming he'll be going to the Terrorblade.
Okay, if you were to guess who's the one person in this game who hasn't died as yet, without looking, who would you say? Because there's exactly one player who has not died yet.
Is it Mirana?
No. Good guess, but no.
It's a Snapfire.
It's Snapfire, yeah. I'm surprised too. Here we go, self-doom from Filski. They're on 7. Sev's in a lot of danger. That'll certainly be a death on him, and now it's time for Filski to parlay one doom into their 6 Dog under attack. Nova's courier is dead, but it's worth the waits. You've gotten 2 massive core kills.
Yeah, this Doom Ags is looking very scary. You get 2 massive core kills, and it's not only that. He has the Octarine, he has the Quickening Charm. I felt like I repeated myself 10 times, but that is such a low cooldown. like he's gonna have it up by the time they're alive. Like not exactly, but
It's 1
by
minute
the
till the
time they
next
leave their
Doom.
base.
1
Yeah,
minute.
by the time they leave their base, it's gonna be back up. They know Doom's not here. They might go for a fight.
Jorik stuns, arrow to follow. PMA Manta! Good Manta from PMA, gets away from Jorik. Now Jorik will dodge the hook shot. We'll have to BKB on Primal Beast. Ja uses the Meta, looking to kill the Clockwork, and he will crit him out the Daedalus. There's 1 kill so far, but the remainder of the team, more important heroes, will disengage. All 3 cores and the apparently immortal Snapfire will all get away.
Yeah, I feel like surely somebody had to expect that. Your Doom TP's out, your main hero that's winning you these team fights, and yeah, they take a fight. Sure, they're missing 2 cores, but I guess BKB on Jorik, that was the BKB reveal. That might have been what baited them in there. Was they weren't expecting that.
Well, Filski has Doom in 3 seconds. Apparently the cooldown not short enough. But 6 Dog is about to run into what may be certain death. Seb is nearby, and look at Filski at the side angle. He'll Doom himself, looking to jump on it with the blade dagger, but it's being canceled right now. The arrow! They're cutting around Filski incredibly low, but it still will not matter. 6 Dog is already dead, and now Seb is doomed.
He's found Sev.
Sev?
Oh,
he didn't find Sev. He's okay, now he's signed Sev.
He's invisible.
Now he's doing Morana, and now he's doing John, now he's doing Morana again, but the Doom is ended. Sev jumps in for Vico. As the pulverizes there on Filski, Filski will BKB, turning on John, the 2-man hoof stomp. He'll have to blink away, but no, the blink is canceled with the Morana right clicks. Vico will go into the swashbuckle, but at this point it's time to run away. CB will jetpack. The remainder of the team will scatter to the east. It seems like CB will still go down. E-Blade there from Sev to hunt down the Clockwork. Double kill for Sev. Ended up being a pretty good fight there for the side of Down to Clown. They traded 2 for 1.
Yeah, and taking on that Doom is huge. You can play non-scared until he's alive again, which his Doom will be back up by the time he's alive. That's just... it's gonna be a scary fight for the rest of the game. Doesn't matter how far ahead or behind they get.
Oh, by the way, Artorius, I just scheduled our ladder match. We're playing Tuesday.
Okay. I kind of figured Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday are days we can play.
Yeah, and we're playing Tuesday, as in 2 days from now.
Alright, I'll get Safety Dance queued up.
Bum, 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 bum.
So, this is another problem, is Faceless Void has recovered. He's back into the game now. He may not be able to bring down Terrorblade in a Chronosphere. However, he's getting close to the point where he's probably going to be looking to buy Refresher in the next 10 minutes or so. If after this Lincoln Sphere, I'm presuming. So it could be dangerous.
Sorry if there were FPS drops temporarily. I had to go post the matchup in lads, so yeah.
Badger doesn't care about you all, but please like and subscribe. I mean, yes.
Thank you, Jim. Thank you, Jim.
Jim.
I'm joking because Jim does it all the time. To,
like and subscribe?
No, to, like use your Twitch Primes, and it actually works apparently, so I don't mind him doing it. But
all right, well, use your Twitch Primes. Other than DOS, he's already done it.
It's kind of corny, you know. I don't like doing the whole like YouTuber Twitch streamer thing, you know.
All right, fine. I'll do something better. If you are a Dota 2 tournament organizer, hire this man as your fucking caster. It will be the biggest non-mistake of your life. I had to make it sound bad still.
I'm gonna be real with you. This is not my finest game casting. Wait, bash on Joe Rick. He's forced to the low ground by himself, but if he dies, he'll lose the gem. BKB onslaught away. An important save on the gem from Joe Rick. This has not been my finest cast. This game 2. Game 1 I casted pretty well. But game 2 not so much.
It's never your finest cast when I'm here.
Game 1's pretty good, man. I had some Did I cast decent 8 finals with you, or is that logical?
I feel like that was probably logical. I don't think you've ever casted a finals with me. You normally find somebody actually good at analysis for that.
I crushed the S8 finals, and that was logical, I think.
Yeah, I think I remember watching it, so I'm pretty sure it was not me.
Did we not do 7 finals? Because you were obviously in the 6 finals, so you couldn't cast it, but... Did you not do 7 finals?
Maybe? I might have.
Actually, now to think about it, I have like been anally archiving stuff in series VOD, so it's easily verifiable.
Sure. I guess we can figure it out right now. Nothing's happening.
And go into Discord. I can't tab over for FPS reasons, but go to series VODs. Just search in series VODs grand finals, and then scroll to the top.
I almost typed it as one word. I'm a fucking dude. All right. Oh wait, I have to do in colon. Let's see.
Until that happens, though, we are looking at a 4-man smoke gang, perhaps, maybe, possibly, maybe not. Never mind.
Season 11.
When did Rangerex die bottom? Anyways? When did that happen?
I don't know. I think it was just creeps that killed it out, or either things. So season 8 was with Logical. Season 9 was with Logical.
I can tell you 10 and 11 were also with Logical.
No, you did 10 with Aaron. Or that must have... Yeah, that... I think 10 was with Aaron.
No, it's definitely Logical. There's no way.
Little Bros versus Kittens.
That was not the grand finals. Yeah, that was not the grand finals. Little... I'm just gonna do him on Jaw right now. Dire engaging on Terrorblade, desperate with the Chronosphere. Will be there on 2 big cores, but damage might not be enough. TB still half HP, can be active. Has Sunder when he's alive, and no! Sunder, not in time! He's dead on Jaw! And just like that, it's time to scatter. CB may die, but you've lost your big, bad Terrorblade, and 6 Dogs being kited. PMA time locks away. The roll continues in Vico. It's so much damage. Marana dropping. Marana dead. Viper dead. Sev dead as well to the swashbuckle. Joe will get away. He'll TP successfully. But a major, massive, absolutely monumental teamfight victory for Mo Filski, Mo Problems.
Pangolier with that Refresher Orb and Basher just did so much work. That was ridiculous. Fight recap. Let's see this. Yeah, he did the most damage, and he probably locked them down for the longest amount of time. 6 Dog did 6.5k damage, and it doesn't even matter. They just still lost the fight. That's crazy. You only kill the enemy, pause 5. And now there's a free Roche coming in. PMA's courier's dead again somehow. He opts to not buy the Lincoln Sphere, instead buys the Eye of Scotty, and is now going for that refresher. Alright, so I searched up Grand Finals, and Season 10 is not in here. I don't think.
I was not looking for 10. I was looking for... Wait, 10?
So, Season... Oh, wait, Season 10 VODs begin.
Okay, I don't have time to search for it, sadly, right now, but again...
No, I'm searching for it. Okay, okay, no, Season 9 was with Logical. No, that's Season 10.
Just search for Season 10 VODs end here.
Yeah, so Season 10 was Badger and Logical.
Of course.
Go
to 7, though. Or where's 7?
7.
Let's go all the way to 7.
Season 7 was Badger, Logical, Sasquatch, and Bulljax.
Ooh. Oh, gas.
Yeah, so I never cast a Grand Finals with it.
Well, there we go. We got our answer.
I was going to say, normally you find somebody better at analysis than me.
Fair.
I'm just an idiot.
Yeah. I'm supposed to say no, but I'm not going to. I'm not a liar. 4-man
smoke. I'm the devil, I don't lie.
4-man smoke keg from the side of Mo Filski, Mo Problems. It's everyone but Vico in the smoke, and let the Dire Side track camp.
Looks like they want to find 6 Dog here, but they might just find Jaw at the same time if they do.
And 6 Dog, not the easy kill. TP away by Jaw just in time, but it does mean that 6 Dog lacks his Jaw. Filski is there. 6 Dog will attempt the man fight and bring down PMA, but with all that time walking. Wait a minute, 6 Dog is tanking all of this somehow. PMA is dying right now, has 2 lives. Let the fight once again. Hookshot is in. They're leaving 6 Dog to die. Honestly, They might be able to fight that. I'm actually curious how much damage Six Dog did there. That would have been like nearly 10,000 damage. That's a lot of damage.
The problem is if they fight that, they get AoE doomed, Chronosphered, and Pango rolled. Actually, double Pango rolled, and half your team wasn't there.
That was 8,700 damage from Six Dog. I just want to point that out.
Yeah, that's just ridiculous.
I mean, nearly 10,000 damage. That's just an excessive quantity of damage.
Jaw is 6-slotted, but it appears he wants to replace an item with Hex.
Ooh, what does he replace with Hex, actually?
Maybe doesn't have TP for 14 seconds.
Maybe you backpack the Manta and put in the Hex, but...
Maybe, but they are searching in the wrong direction.
I mean, the Rockets, okay, the Rockets are progressively going more and more to the east, right? So it's the right idea. They know he's somewhere over here. There's a little bit... Career? TP? Oh my, that was danger. That was a danger zone play there.
I don't think he meant for there to be a courier right there. I think he was sending him out to attack the tower.
He was, surely, but still. That's a little bit hilarious.
Well, I didn't even realize there was an Ags pickup on this Snapfire. And Abyssal Blade is now finished for the Pangolier, so a little bit more stun added on there. Shiva's for the Doom, should be harder to bring down. Clockwork has Glimmer and Force, so that could be good. There's a Blink Dagger finally picked up on the Primal Beast, and there are no Lincoln Spheres, but there is a Lotus Orb. It looks like Morana's also going for a Hex. This Viper wants a BKB, just gonna keep this passive Blade Mail and Plate Mail for now. And Void Spirit also want a Hex. They're building 3 Hexes.
By the way, if you are just joining us, welcome to some League of Lads action. It's Mo Filski, Mo Problems, taking on Down to Clown. About a 6.5k average game, more or less. A little bit below that, actually, but still. My name's Badger. I'm joined by Artorius. Thank you, Stemby Boy, for the big raid for this this group stage action. We are 48 minutes into the game right now. It's currently the dire side, Mo Filski, Mo Problems, in the driver's seat. But still, we're chilling right now. You know, it's a fun game to chill out and wait for more team fights.
And I'm assuming there's going to be a team fight soon. This Faceless Void has the Refresher Orb recipe coming out to him right now.
Yeah, this is what we've been waiting for. It's been like 48 minutes of waiting for these like late game, epic crescendo team fights. You know, it's been a lot of farming, a lot of like one hero dying ganks, but the big fights, that's what we've been waiting for. We've had a couple of them so far today, and we are in for possibly the most epic fight of the season very soon.
You know, if they do go on Filski here, they're either going to push this high ground, or they're going and on Six Dog, they're either going to push this high ground, or they're just going to format TP because he's still going to be alive by the time they TP in.
Yeah, and we've it's been a full 5 minutes from that Eve's being claimed. It's already lost, but PMA will slot in the Refresher Orb. Might just be go time once again pretty soon. This T2 tower, it's still here. It is not being actively sieged, so Six Dog will defend it. Still, we have Radiant playing 4 in the dire side jungle with the Moonlight Shadow. They're sweeping the map a little bit. Now they're finally going on Six Dog. Filski jumps on in. The Doom is not been committed quite yet. Hookshot in. Doom now self-casted by Filski. Six Dog on Viper most certainly will die. And Filski thought there would be TP reactions, but instead, in the Dire base, Jaw is manning up with the meta. Now Dire TP back, Filski will Doom onto Jaw. Big jump if they get the Doom be ending in 1 more second. Jaw has half HP. They're going to attempt to lock down the Terrorblade. He'll be but the Chronosphere. PMA has him. CB is dead, but can they kill Jaw? Refresher, another Chrono. No, Jaw alive. Chrono again. He's dead on Jaw. Pulverize will be there on Filski, but he's done his job. Jorik is going to be absolutely demolished. Sev wants to kill on the Doom, but no, he's forced away on Filski. Filski's still alive, not into this astral step, but it doesn't matter. Sev is being locked down. Sev is dead. A triple kill for PMA. A massive, absolutely triumphant teamfight win for the side of Mo Filski, Mo Problems. And that is what we've been waiting for the last 50 minutes, Artorius.
Yeah, that could have been extremely bad. If that fight happened like a minute sooner, Ja didn't have buyback. He didn't get buyback until after he had died.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so he does have buyback now. Luckily for the Radiant. But yeah, that is definitely what we've been looking for all game. It does cost Filski's life and a CB buyback, but I'm sure you're definitely willing to give that up and all of your cooldowns to get a fight like that.
Mm-hmm. It cost. I mean, it cost everything, but it was so worth it. I mean, the money, the XP, and again, I don't think it'll be high ground, but just getting those tier 2 towers when you have not claimed them in 50 minutes is not only good for map control, but it's good for your morale. Like, yes, the tower, it's finally dead. We can grab the outpost. We can grab the tier 2 tower.
Yeah, and Dire even won that fight while the Radiant had vision. Like, they didn't have Six Dog, obviously, but they had vision, and they still ended up losing that fight. Under 2 different Radiant wards, Snapfire were able to get rid of after the fight was over, but yeah, they just stayed a little bit too long. Tried to punish the jump bottom, and it just didn't end up working in their favor.
You know what's funny? Snapfire still hasn't died yet. I don't believe, how could Nova does not die in a 52-minute game on Snapfire like this?
Especially on a hero like Snapfire, like, she finally picks up a mobility item. 52 minutes into the game, she picks up her Blink Dagger. But yeah, she just, I don't know. She was in the front line of some of these fights too. She just didn't die.
Filski? He's on the high ground. He's used sheep. Wait, they don't know he's up there. Instead, they want to jump over onto Vico, the bigger kill, if they can find it. He's half HP hookshot and might save him. Is there a save? Chronosphere beyond 3 again! A perfect chrono from PMA. Kisses are on the way. It's still chaos in the dire side jungle. Bash on Ja, and Ja's brought down once again. The stun on Six Dog. Jorik is running. And Six Dog cannot run. Muted, rolled on, brought down, eventually dead, and there is nothing they can do. Jorik somehow TP'd away, but more importantly, Seb has been caught. He's locked down, 100-0. All 3 cores are dead, and Void Spirit does not have a buyback.
That was looking scary for Dire there. Like, Pangalier's a huge component of their team fight. So much damage and a refresher on there, and just got saved by that CB and Chronosphere. The hook shot there. That could have been scary.
This is good team play. Hook shot to delay, buying enough time for the Chronosphere. Buying enough time for Filski to blink off the high ground.
Yeah, there's now a Hex picked up on this Snapfire as well. So even scarier looking for the Radiant heroes. They do have one on their Mirana, but it just wasn't enough last fight to bring down that Pangolier.
And there is still 1 Chronosphere for PMA if he wants to go for a punish. As it currently stands, Filski, Mo Problems play the lane game. Bot lane was brought in, top lane's being brought in, mid-racks are fully deceased. But it's time for more brick and mortar to crumble. Bottom T3 still under attack. Ja alive in 13, Seb, more importantly, the one without buyback, alive in 25. It will be 2 racks, most certainly. And I believe Filski, Mo Problems may be content with 2 racks.
Yeah, there's no Metamorphosis on Terrorblade anymore, but Roche is going to be up soon, so I'm assuming they want to keep this Refresher Chronosphere ready to go for the next fight here. Just play it safe.
It's actually a very long Roshan spawn, I think, but it's finally back. It's finally back.
Yeah, whether they're keeping track of it or not, they should know that it's up
Yeah.
soon, just because of how long it is.
The Radiant are picking it right now. I'm sure Dire will pop ahead in there at some point. Again, it's 3rd Roshan of the game, Aegis, Cheese, and a free Aghanim's Blessing inside said pit. Sev leads the way. CB is scouting, but they do not want to jump on Clockwork. Not yet, not now. Remnant will hit. CB is half HP, but gets 4-staffed away by himself. Both teams are now aware of the impending Roshan status.
Dire don't have any observer boards to fight
Sev
with,
goes
though.
in, hexing Filski. They want to kill the Doom desperately, but now Sev is locked down, and he still does not have a buyback. He gets to what? No, he's dead. He's simply dead. Pulverized on Filski. Filski's somehow still alive. He BKBs. They could not kill him. They committed everything to bring down Filski. They never even got him, and now it's Ja being stunned, Ja being doomed, everything being committed to bring down the Terrorblade. Can he sunder? He's in the Chronosphere. There's no way out but 6 feet under. 3 more kills. Gem on the floor. And again, no Marana buyback. No Void Spirit buyback. And now Six Dog has been caught. There's no way for him to leave either. Vico is still rolling on in, looking for Viper. Viper is incredibly tanky, but there's no way to win that 1v5 team fight. Hook shot in. Time dilation to follow. Cookie actually will not stun. Abyssal Blade committed. Six Dog is still life-stealing, but there's not enough life-steal in the world to save you from your fate. 4 dead on the side of Down to Clown. And just like that, Mo Filski, Mo Problems, at long last, have broken this game absolutely wide open.
Yeah, and despite the Dire just rushing down this Terrorblade and leaving their Snapfire behind, she still does not die.
Top lane, Joe Rick. Joe Rick is fighting with Vico. He has no mana. He can't TP. There's no mana on Joe Rick. He buys back on Marana, but it's way too late. You cannot save Joe Rick. That's going to be a dead Primal Beast. But noticeably, look where the Dire are now. They're no longer in the Radiant base. So Viper buys back, Primal Beast buys back. The push is technically dead. It costs you 3 buybacks, but you've killed the push.
Yeah, but they can't contest Roche now. Like, you don't have buyback on your Viper, you take a fight out of your base, this game's over.
This is true, but again, it's better than having your throne be dead right now, in my opinion. When you're down by this much, sometimes you can't win them all.
There will be a gem back on Marana here, able to regain some map control before this fight. I don't know how that fight went so badly. They were fighting underneath a Radiant Observer board, but it just... Dire just has too much team fight. They have a late game Doom, they have a late game Pango, and they have a late game...
They couldn't kill Filski. If they actually managed to burst Filski, it would have been at least a decent fight. They couldn't. He was just too tanky.
Late BKB, and yeah, you just still lived through it.
Well, here we go again. Filski as the Doom, and we all know what Filski wants to do. He wants to do multiple targets, including, most importantly, Void Spirits. Or perhaps Terrorblade, but they're not really showing as much anymore. Six Dog plays the low ground. T3 Tower, brought down by PMA. Remnant will hit. PMA has 2 lives, so time off away. Six Dog is there to go on PMA. But at this point, it's a Doom in by Filski. His Blink Dagger is canceled, but it does not matter. Filski is hookshotted and brought on down by the supports primarily, and now the Doom continues. Ja managed to hurricane back away in time, and now the Hex on Filski is half HP. Sev is in the fight once again. It's a Chronosphere. They're on TB. The PMA is doing no damage. The BKB is still active. Ja is going to survive for us. He blinks forward. Terror leaving. Bam fighting PMA. Chrono again. Broken. No. He's stunned. Void wants to fight, and he'll lose 1 life. Now it's Ja, who's Hexed, needs to sunder, but he cannot. He's now going to buy back into the fight. Six Dog's taking a ton of damage. Void Spirit is being gone on by Vico as well. Hookshot is there on the Viper. Meanwhile, Filski is running away. TB, where's TB? He's in once again. The Chronosphere again for BMA. Jaws locked down. Is dropping. Is dead. And that is a dieback. Viper is trying desperately to fight, but it will be futile. Dieback on Jolrik. And it's going to be a dieback on Six Dog. And just like that, we've got a 1-1 draw between Mo Filski, Mo Problems, and Down to Clown.
I don't know how you keep up with all that shit. Dota 2 past 45 minutes is just pure chaos. I guess in the end, it came down to this game went late, and the enemy team had to face this Void Pango and Doom with items, so their team fight was just better. You know, you can't really build defensive items on the Radiant side because you have to build it to counter a Pango roll. Like, what keeps you alive through a Pango roll, a Doom, and a Chronosphere? There's not much.
That's the funny part. You don't.
Yeah, you just don't. To be frank, there's just nothing the Radiant could do once the Dire got their items. They looked strong in the early game. You know, the Viper doing really good in lane against this Faceless Void. But this Filski Doom and supporting staff just were able to give them enough space to come back into the game. At one point in that final fight there, the Faceless Void got hit with a full duration arrow, and unfortunately the only one on top of him was Six Dog, so Viper wasn't able to do enough damage to kill him, and PMA just time walked back to half health. Also, great patience by the Faceless Void to not use a second chrono before he died there, because if he used chrono and died instantly, that fight could have looked a little bit different, because it ended up being the chronosphere at the end.